Vast and ahoy once again to ye mateys! I be your trendy and fashion-conscious DM, Josh the Pirate, and it brings me more joy than it would take to fill Westminster Cathedral to welcome you back to Corsair's Cove and Mano. With me, I have my lovely wife and DM, the mother of bunnies, Karen. Who the absolute heck are you?
I am, as mentioned, the mother of bunnies. I'm also a writer, a performer, internet addict. You can also listen to my lovely voice on the D&D podcast, There Be Dragons. Follow the link in chat or search There Be Dragons on your favourite podcasting platform. Or go over and follow me on Twitter as Mother O Bunnies, because I usually share the link. And if you hear that noise that just happened right then, probably means one of my rabbits has come inside.
Is it Guinea?
It's Guinea.
I am not surprised. Guinea is the one who knows how that door works.
Oh, Tori does. He's just,
it doesn't
less inclined. I'm basically teaching him to use it by bribing him every time he comes in. He gets a little treat.
Madame et Monsieur, Dame und Herren, and beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. I am the co-founder of Corsair's Cove. I run a lot of games on it. Tomorrow night I will be starting a new thing where I will be going into some RPG systems and talking about how they're different, how they work, and using them to generate a character, because that is normally the best way to sort of figure out how a game system works and how it is different and in any way useful to learn from and see how the system actually works. Possibly with the potential of running games in new systems in the future. But yeah, at the moment, it's just sort of trying shit out. Beyond that, if you like my face and voice, you can find me in Paparotica at Fringe World. And if you think I have a decent voice, but I could stand to tone the face down a little bit, you can check out my vocal stylings in the podcast There Be Dragons, where I play the infamous and deadly pirate Sken Felspar und his little dragon, Rush. Karen,
Yes.
Tell me about Ukraine.
Ukraine. You've probably heard about Ukraine in the news recently. It's full of Russians, which is suboptimal for the Ukrainians because they don't want them there, and they come with a lot of guns. So there are 8 million Ukrainians approximately that have been forced to flee their homes so far. And if you have some spare pennies floating around in your digital wallet, you can head across to the Emergency Action Appeal. That is the link in chat. It is a group of charities, not-for-profits, that have banded together to try and help Ukrainian refugees. So if you can fling a few dollars their way, a little bit goes a long way. And I believe they are getting close to $4 million raised. The Australian government donated $2 million, and another $2 million has been raised by generous people like yourselves. So if you can, head on over and give a little help.
Good on you, champions. And while you're at it, I need to remind our kind-hearted, gentle, and possibly even endearing audience to please like, follow, and subscribe to all the things. We have all the socials. You can check out all the episodes you may have missed on our YouTube. It is fully up to date. I'm keeping on top of it at the moment. And if you want to come and hang out with us, you can use the link here to join our Discord. It will currently work. They only work for a week, I discovered, so I have to update that every week. But that's okay. I can do that so that people can come join us in our Discord. So, yeah, those are all the things. Well, Karen. I think we can get into it. So
should we do a little recap of where we are in the story?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Should I do it now that I'm the player?
Yeah, you're the player now. You do you do the recap. You tell everyone where we're at.
All right. Well, Beryl and Garret, we went to Beryl and Garret and I, we went into this. We got stuck out in the rain on the way to Bottledown. Nice little halfling settlement to the south of Rans. And Garret had a job lined up there, and I had nothing better to do, so I went along with him just to see maybe they might need some music. On our way down, we got caught in a nasty storm, and found ourselves a nice little place to stop by. We found a little abandoned building. We thought, well, lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. And what could be the worst that could happen? So we broke into this abandoned house. First, it looked a little bit like it might be haunted. We kept hearing some nasty noises and words, but very quickly it became apparent that it was in fact being used as a place by someone else. And initially, we were very much of the mind to, live and let live, and maybe they didn't want to talk to us, so we would just sort of ignore them and leave them alone. But as time went on and we explored the place, we thought more and more that we should probably go and at least forcibly introduce ourselves, if nothing else. Yeah, some crossbow bolts got exchanged, a bag of bats was thrown.
The bats was thrown multiple times to great effect.
The bats was a whole other issue. We have now released said bats. Sturges, actually, vampire bats, nasty creatures. Don't really look like bats enough. And turns out it was the base of a smuggling operation run by a wizard named Sanballat. Bit of an odd name, when everybody else had very normal names, like Sandra. That's what happens when you make the DM make up a whole bunch of NPC names on the fly. So we managed to arrest about half of them. No, three of them. Sanballat, Sandra, and there was one other gentleman. We killed a couple of hobgoblins. When I say we, I really mean Garret. He took on a pair of hobgoblins, very impressive. And yeah, they were smuggling. They had a whole bunch of stuff that they were using to smuggle. The two primary things they had was a whole bunch of silk and a whole mess of casks of brandy. Bottledown brandy. Bottledown is, and I know this, famous for its brandy, so I don't know if we'll be able to flog it in Bottledown for anything like its actual worth, but these were people that stole it in the first place, so it'd be a bit mean to sell it back to the people it got stolen from. But maybe they might give us a little bit of a reward for returning it. Who knows? We didn't come up empty-handed neither. We did a lot of robbing, basically. I mean, it's a bit of a, but we were stealing from a dead person. Different. There was also, quite importantly, in the basement that they were using as their hideout, there was a secret closed room. Well, it wasn't secret. They barred the door because it was full of skeletons that were sort of animated and trying to kill people. We were curious, but we waited for that till last, and then Sandra helped Garret and I deal with the skeletons, and then this sort of ghostly skeletal guy came out, and he said some very unkind things about our intellectual capacity. So we killed him again, and then we went and robbed him because he turned out he was the previous owner, and he was something of an alchemist. He had a book called the Ye Story of Ye Philosopher's Stone, or something like that. Ye Secret of Ye Philosopher's Stone. We think he was trying to turn base stuff into gold. It looks like he might have succeeded as well. We found a skull, an apple, and a rose, and a bunch of small metal discs, not coins, but metal discs, all made out of gold, and some chemical apparatus. We also find, and Garrett's very happy with it, a bag of Holden. And I'm inclined to let the boy keep it. He seems very handy with it. And to be honest, he's the one carrying around a hell of a lot of books. Garret did very well out of that house as well. We found 6 books, plus the Philosopher's Stone book. 7, actually, but one of them's written in a language neither of us can read. But Garrett's sort of trying to work out how to translate it. He says it's written in Giant. And he's comparing it with another one of the books we found up there, which was the Men of the Mountains, Their Ways. Contains some instructions, basic Giant linguistics, so that you can translate it, apparently, and that's what he's been doing. And he scribed a little rune on his chest that sort of glowed, and he all of a sudden did a bit of magic. It was pretty impressive. And tied a hobgoblin to the floor with some fiery manacles, which killed it. Yeah.
Quite spectacularly.
He's also got a couple of other books, The Magical Properties of Gemstones, Metaphysics of Mathematics, as a book of erotic poetry and no judgment, a naval almanac, and the treatise on Eos and his minions. And Eos is a demigod, as I recall. We also picked up 4 golden ribs, which were part of the skeletons, and a bottle of rare wine. Quite an old vintage, but very sweet, neither of us care for. A suit of plate mail, a long sword, and a shield, but they're designed for a human, neither of us would fit it. But Garrett's pretty sure he could squeeze himself into that hobgoblin's mariner's armor. It's magic armor, scale armor. And he might look quite good in that. And he found some alchemist's fire as well. Did very well. I got myself a couple of blue pieces of quartz I want to get made into some earrings. But this is just sort of Josh going through the loot, because I just did a quick go through the book, and there's a lot of loot in that place. They came out 132 gold pieces and 30 silver pieces of just straight money. Then there was 2 pieces of blue quartz worth 10 gold pieces a piece, a small crystal bauble worth 5 silver pieces, 2 pieces of jade worth 10 gold pieces each that were the eyes of a doll that they found in the attic. It's the alchemist's fire, the mariner's armor. There was one thing that you didn't find that was a magic item that you guys didn't find. Because you didn't search Sanballat's person. He had a magic item on him. But you did find
taken off him when he gets to jail.
Yeah. But you did find you did find a stone in the pocket of the alchemist as well, as I recall. Yeah.
That may or may not be a philosopher's stone.
A philosopher's stone, but you're not sure.
Not sure.
You also found 2 potions, and you don't know what they do. And yeah, the bag of holding currently contains 4 golden ribs worth 5 gold apiece, and a human skull, or at least a block of gold that looks like a human skull, but you're pretty sure it's been made that way, not turned into gold by alchemy. An apple, a rose, and a set of gold discs. All of those are also worth 5 gold pieces, so total the bits of gold stuff that you found are worth 30, 40, 55, 75 gold pieces worth of just gold stuff. In the bag of holding, and another 20 gold pieces worth of chemical apparatus. Then 7 books worth various amounts of money, but all up probably about 100. In fact, it's 101. If you can get the maximum price for them all. And 8 bolts of cloth and 13 casks of brandy worth 400 gold pieces for the cloth and 130 for the cask of brandy at full market value. So you're looking at coming up on 700 gold pieces worth of loot from this place, plus the boat that you drove out of there in. So that's another 100. Yeah, they made a tidy fortune off this. To be honest, if they were prepared to live a very frugal life, they could retire.
Look, I feel like they might do the right thing and return it to those from whom it was stolen.
If they can work out whose it was, yeah. Beryl would certainly be up for returning the bolts of cloth and the brandy. If there's a reward going, she'd probably take that, but she wouldn't be selling it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd be rocking up with a bunch of prisoners as well, so this will be under direct scrutiny of the town guard immediately. Well, yeah. That's. I think that was pretty much what happened. We tied everybody up, and we.
I believe you charmed them.
I did. I charmed them, but we tied them up, and they helped us load up the little jolly boat and sail it for the first hour. Garret knows his way around a rowboat well enough, and then we tied them up while they were charmed, and all of them failed their resistance to the charm. And they were very upset about it when they found out they'd been charmed. Obviously. And hardly surprising, really. I don't hold that against him. But they did murder people and stuff, so I don't feel too bad about it. So we're sailing up the little river, the name of which escapes me. I did come up with a name for it. It'll be written down here soon. Not that one before. The Pleasant Late Summerson Caribberg. The Karnborg. Not Caribberg, that's a place in the Empire in Warhammer. The Karnborg River. We're sailing down the Karnborg River towards the Southern Ocean. And at the end of that river is Bottledown, so we're sailing down there. And that will be where you find me.
Yes. Cool. So we rejoin Beryl, Garret, and the bandit/smuggler captives, sailing down the river towards Bottledown, and we shall say a fairly uneventful trip later, because it's only like half a day, I believe.
Yeah, it was about 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. You reach Bottledown, and I believe we have a map.
We do have a map. I will put it up now.
For those of you who are curious, we are using the Ghost of Saltmarsh as our base for this part of their adventure.
So this is Saltmarsh, but it's not. It's totally not. It's Bottledown.
It's Bottledown. It's technically Saltmarsh, but it is Bottledown.
So I'm imagining that the river is coming from... It's also upside down because my world is south-north, not north-south. And we are coming down the river from the top left of it. Mm-hmm. We'll be hitting and coming up around the coast from the bottom left side. That's the river heading up. That's the Karnborg.
Oh.
Heading up inland.
So the side with Bottledown written on it.
Yeah. Totally not Saltmarsh.
Totally not Saltmarsh. Definitely not Saltmarsh at all.
Yeah. Cool. That's that. We sail on in. We probably try and thread our way through. I wouldn't want to chance our going up between the little island down there at the bottom, and
we want to go around it.
We go around the island. It's a fairly shallow little dinghy that we're in, so we make our way in, and I imagine we make a bit of a splash, if you pardon the pun. When we rock up at the main jetty saying, "Hello, ahoy there!" I flag down the first sort of stevedore I can see and say, "Would you mind doing me a massive favor and go and getting the local marshal or the town watchman?"
Oh, he's a little taken aback.
This flagrantly dressed, fantastically dressed dwarven woman sitting at the tiller of a boat with 3 tied up captives, human captives, whilst being rowed by a stocky halfling boy. He's going to be stocky now, at least. He's athletic. Let's put it that way. Hang on, I'm just going to remove the image so that the audience can see me again.
See you again.
Yeah. Yes. He's like, "Hello there. Hi. Would you do me a quick favor and go get the local marshal? I think I need to have a word with them."
Oh, right. Oh. And it's middle-aged halfling man, and he's like, "Oh, okay. Right, prisoners. Okay, let me grab a guard for you." And he bustles off, and you see him in the distance talking to a lightly armored halfling woman. And you see kind of gesticulating and pointing, and she looks initially confused and then looks over and looks a little more kind of less confused. And she waves at another guard and heads towards you, and you see another similarly dressed male halfling guard kind of jog up to join her, and the pair of them approach you at your boat. And
I just want to say, hi, Black Angel. Good to see you. 36 is not 69.
And the halfling woman kind of walks up to you, Beryl, and is like, good morning. What can I help you with there?
Well, all is going very well, Black Angel. Good to see you, friend. You're welcome to pop in and say hi. Hi to you right back. Well, hello. Well, first of all, my name's Beryl Ingotsfury, and this is my friend here, Garret Dale. We were just passing through. Garrett's got some work lined up here. Portuguese title? Tony Cruz. Or I'm confused. I don't think it's Portuguese.
To what are you referring? What is Portuguese?
I don't think it's written in Portuguese, unless it has a translation in Portuguese, but, Tony Cruz, I'm afraid, no, this is an English language, Twitch channel, I'm afraid.
Oh, unless he means Mano a Mano.
Ah, okay, Mano a Mano, no, we really just, Mano a Mano is a saying in English as well, we do use it, but it is Portuguese, I'll give you that, sorry, my apologies, yes. A lot of people use it, though. I was just looking for something that went well with Monday. It does mean the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out what language technique is, and my earbud just fell out, so I don't know if...
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Like, I think it's Spanish, isn't it?
That's what I thought, but I think Portuguese and Spanish are fairly similar, so I imagine it's the same in Portuguese as it is Spanish.
It is Spanish. There you go. Originally a duel between two matadors. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Knowledge. Cool. Sorry, where were we?
No, you're very welcome, Tony Cruz. Nice to meet you. We are playing 1v1 D&D. That's basically what's going on here. This is episode 9 of the Adventures of Beryl Ingotsfury. And we have a new follower as well. We have 2. Adultlin and Tony Cruz. Thank you very much for the follows. Yes, good on you. Sorry. Yes, so Beryl has just rocked up at a jetty. Never seen anyone playing one-on-one D&D. Well, this is sort of an experiment. I've seen a few, but we're trying something different because Karen and I are both playing the primary character, but we're taking it in turns. We're Australian D&D streamers. And I'm British originally, but we both live in... Karen isn't. You can probably hear me echoing in...
to any other passports. And I'm mad about that.
Tony Cruz is in Brazil. One-on-one D&D. Is D&D very common or very popular in Brazil, Tony? I wouldn't know. In my experience, it's difficult to get translations in other languages. I know it's quite popular in Germany, but the Russians don't have any translated books at all. Beyond, I think, the player handbook, which is and we only know that because we have a friend in Russia who plays. And it was more popular in the 90s. Oh, dude, it's coming back. It's coming back. 5th Ed has really reinvigorated it. Anyway, we're going to get along with the story. Lovely to meet you, Tony. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. So I'm currently playing Beryl, but Karen will... every now and again, we take it in turns to play it. So Karen, last week I was the DM, now Karen's the DM. We don't have a translation, so we simple translate. I see. Don't have much choice, yeah, I imagine. Yeah, sorry about that. It's just crazy because more people in the world speak Spanish or Portuguese than speak English, but there we go.
Yeah, Spanish translation would be very applicable.
Yeah. Spanish and Chinese are the way more commonly spoken.
And French.
And French.
Is more common.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so we stopped off at a little deserted manse up the ways for the night while the storm came through. Unfortunately, we had an interaction with some fellow travelers, some fellow house occupiers, and look, they came off a little the worse for wear out of it. But I am a former watch officer from Alfheim, and well, when I see a crime being committed, I kind of have to get involved. These gentlemen and this young lady here were, we believe, involved in a smuggling ring. And we brought some evidence of that with us. Hey, Falcon Wolf. Doom!
We shall see. The guardswoman kind of takes this in, kind of nodding, goes, smugglers, you say?
We believe so.
Well, if they're the smugglers I think they are, we've been trying to capture them for some time.
Oh, well, that's good.
Look,
I think they might be only half the deal, though. They were definitely communicating with a ship that was not there when we got there. This is the largest vessel they had.
Right. Well, that tracks. Look, I think the best thing to do is we'll have to take them up to the barracks. That's where the jail is. So we'll need to take them up there. Yeah, we'll have to take you to the council house after that.
Now, this one here with the gag, he's a wizard, so you might want to be careful with that one. Or how much magic he can do without his spell book, which he does not have. But yeah, that's why he's gagged. We didn't want to risk anything. The other two have been cooperative to a point. The young lady particularly has been very helpful. There was a situation before we left where she was very useful, so if it helps none, I put it in a good word for her now. She was right helpful. If that makes her get a reduced sentence, then she deserves it.
Okay. Look, is there room for one more on that boat at the moment?
Yeah. None of us particularly beg. Do you want us to paddle on up?
Yes, I was going to say, I'll hop on board with you guys, and we can, basically, we'll take it around. We can't get all the way to the barracks by boat, but we can take it around to a pier closer to the barracks. We can hop off there. And I'll get you, and she turns to the male guard who she summoned over. And Lankus, I want you to meet us at the last pier before the bridge, and you should go past the council house and let them know we'll be bringing down the people who've captured some of the smugglers, okay? And he kind of nods and then jogs off into the city. And she hops confidently onto your boat and says like, pull out and just head up around and up that way. And she points towards the kind of inlet in the center of town.
Garret, uncommonly for him, pulls out and reverses around and does as instructed. Falcon will suggest break his fingers and keep him gagged. Can't speak or do gestures if you're gagged and your fingers are broken.
That's dark, though.
Not really Beryl style.
I'm gonna say as she kind of directs you around and up into the inlet, you can kind of take in the town of Bottledown. It's a bustling trading port. There's lots of toing and froing, people carrying things around. There's a lot of chatter.
Smells of fish.
Yes, you can hear fishmongers calling out the fish they've caught today. And lots of people carrying various goods around about. You can see market stalls set up with various exciting goods. The town is obviously predominantly halfling, as it is a halfling town. But there are a smattering of other species floating around, some humans, some other dwarves.
Walking around, not floating. No, as in because we're near the ocean. They might... A few of them would be floating, in fairness. A lot of them would be on boats. So, yeah, actually, I take it back. They would be floating around. My bad.
Hate you so much. And most of the buildings are kind of slightly smaller than normal.
Oh,
like
sure.
They're not 100% halfling size because obviously it's a trading port. There's lots of other larger folk that would come through here. But on the whole, everything's just shrunk down a little bit. And like particularly once you get past like the business buildings.
Like a lot of houses, you can tell what kind of a person lives in a house by the height of the eaves. I actually feel quite homely here because, well, it's actually almost a little it's about the right size for me, because even the big buildings, the buildings that are designed for everybody, still wouldn't be as large. So it probably suits a dwarf down to the ground.
Yes, it would be a very dwarf appropriate sized town. And you can kind of tell by the look of it that, it's a town on the rise. Like the trading's clearly been going well lately. There's a little bit of money starting to float around this town.
And it's an era of relative peace as well. Like the halflings don't get involved in the wars of the nations. Like the halflings are really just a loose association of towns and villages. There's not really an empire. The halfling empire isn't really a thing. When the I'm just gonna ban this person. There we go. It's a picture of Osama bin Laden as well.
Ooh.
It was like, I'm good. I am good.
Very much, Falcon Wolf. We love wielding the ban hammer.
Makes
me feel intoxicated with power.
So ban this person. The halflings are usually a peaceful folk. They're all about trade and craftsmanship and little community based. They're not empire builders, and they value peace a lot. Having their neighbors also at peace has been really good for them, because then trade.
They're enjoying a reasonable level of prosperity right now. As you continue up what is turning into but much smaller river, you see a bridge, a massive bridge spanning the river ahead of you, and off to the right are several smaller piers for docking boats. And the guardswoman gestures to the one closest to the bridge and directs you to tie up the boat there.
All
which
right.
Presumably you do so.
I direct us in. Garrett's been rowing the whole way.
The good boy he is.
Yeah.
And after a moment, the guardsman who you briefly met and who she referred to, as I did note his name.
I would actually ask her name, the head guardswoman.
Oh, I'm Captain Gilla.
Captain Gilla.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Jill. Would that be a surname or a first?
Oh, that's my first name.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Jill. I'm Beryl.
Folks call me Captain Gilla, so I kind of don't correct them,
Well, fair enough. I'll call you whatever you like, but Jilla's nice. I like that.
Oh, thank you. Yes, there's Lankus, and she kind of waves him down. And he kind of jogs up, slightly out of breath, and he's like, I let the folks at the council house know that you'll be coming down to see him.
Well, thank you very much, Lankus.
I assume we're taking them up to the jail. And Captain Gilla nods and says, yes, we'll escort them up to the jail. I want you to stay with the boat and make sure no one messes with what I presume is the...
we think this is stolen cargo.
Right.
These ones, the casks have marks on them from Bottledown, so I'm assuming it's Bottledownian brandy. I'll be honest, I did have a quick sniff just to make sure, and it did smell like it. There are some of our personal effects in here, and if no one's going to claim the boat, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, it's I wouldn't go so far as to claim what I believe to be stolen property.
That's good. If they're people who think that others, I'm sure they'll be traders. Be very grateful to have this.
You're glitching out there, my love, a little bit.
And she kind of
Hold
she
up,
looks at the
Karen.
three
Wait.
captives.
Oh, don't you
Am I
dare.
present?
Okay, our internet connection has gone unstable.
How dare it?
Don't you fucking dare.
I'm the only one allowed to be unstable in this relationship.
Alright, good. Sorry, could you go back just a little bit there? You glitched out. I couldn't understand a word you were saying.
Where did I get to in that little spiel?
Pretty much just... you were saying about the merchants being glad to get their stuff back.
Sorry, I knocked my earbud out. I didn't hear.
You were saying about the merchants being glad to get their stuff back.
Yes. Basically, Captain Gillard's going to look at the 3 you have tied up and says, do you reckon we can handle them? Just you friend there and me, or should I grab another guard?
Oh, well, Garret and I got him into the boat. I'm sure we can help you get him up there. They've learned amount of respect.
Okay. Right. Up, you three.
The rat is still summoned as well.
Captain Gillard has not noticed the rat yet. So, so...
Yeah. So as we get out, a large rat jumps out onto the onto the jetty as well, and sort of growls at Sanballat, hackles up sort of thing, like a small dog, because it's about the size of a small dog.
Captain Gillette starts slightly.
Oh, don't you mind him, Nern. He's helpful.
Oh, right. So that's your...
Sort of. It's a magical summoning. I haven't named him yet. I only just got the pipe that does it.
Right. Okay.
You know, all hands make light work.
Of course. Right. Okay, you 3. Up you get.
And the rat nips at Sanballat's heels. He goes,
And Captain Gilla, Lankus, the other guard, will go stand at the end of the pier by the boat as Captain Gilla leads you away up towards the bridge.
That is a massive collection of emotes, Falcon Wolf. They're all adorable.
Oh, so cute. I like the little... Is it an owl? It looks like an owl.
It looks like an owl, yeah.
Alrighty. So you'll pass a inn called the Snapping Line.
Ooh.
Obviously some nautical themes running through this town.
A snapping lion or line?
Snapping line. Line.
Line.
Like a fishing line.
Yeah.
Mm.
An owl bear.
And you can smell delicious seafoody smells wafting out of the snapping line. If you want to make a mental note of that for later.
Noted. Yep, absolutely. Solid note there. I don't know about you, Garret, but I'm getting just a little tired of pork.
Yeah, that's yeah, Beryl. I could go for something that's not pork.
Like fish and chips.
Just to mix things up.
Yeah, no. Pork's great. Don't get me wrong. It's just not right now, you know?
So Captain Jalal leads you across the bridge. It is very wide, basically, so that presumably carts can cross with goods. There are shops and small homes along the sides of the bridge as well.
Oh wow! So like a proper London Bridge style.
Proper London Bridge. There are little shops, and little houses.
They're really wide. Okay,
away.
cool.
Yeah.
All scaled down a little bit though. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for a blacksmith or an armorer of some sort. Hey, Riveljax, good to see you.
There isn't a blacksmith on the bridge, but given that it's a trading port, there's bound to be one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You cross the bridge, and Captain Gilla starts leading you inland up a small road, and eventually you see a building that is unmistakably
the council
more military
building.
in appearance.
Oh, right. Yep.
And you can see it's got a little kind of coat of arms that's on Captain Gilla's surcoat as well. And you can only assume that she is leading you towards the barracks.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to be rid of this lot, to be honest.
Okay, so the barracks sit on a small hill. And the jail is concealed within.
Good.
It's a stout wooden building.
Does it look like they'll be secure in here? Like I'm not going to have to worry about repercussions?
You could ask Captain Gilla.
Well, I don't want to offend her. I just want to make sure that as I'm helping drop him off, I'm like, do I think I could break out of this place? Because if I could, then I imagine Sanballat's he's a wily one.
Oh, they should be fine in here. We keep all of the riffraff locked up in here. They go down in the basement.
Right. Just be aware. He's a wily one.
He's a wily one. No worries.
Thinks of himself as a master criminal. Don't be surprised if he talks to you in the third person.
Right. Okay.
He also was. They'd hired out, like, we were obliged to kill a few of them. There's a house up on the moors down there on the riverside. Old haunted looking place. It's not, and I wonder if like they were trying to give the impression that it was. There was a couple of stones that they cast a spell on to make it sound like whenever you went near them, it was supposed to sound like a ghostly haunted noise, make you all scared and run away. Garret and I very recently dealt with a different house that was in fact haunted, so it really didn't really just twist us too much. We just sort of pushed on through. But there was a few others there that we were obliged to sort of end, including young Sandra's sister, but also a pair of hobgoblins. And
wow. So quite a collection.
I believe there was a total of 7 combatants that we dealt with there, and we only managed to take 3 of them alive. 7? Might have been 8. Pretty sure it was 2 groups of 3 and the goblins. So yeah, if you wanted to do any further, like getting evidence and stuff, I think they were using a lantern to signal their boat, their ship.
Right. Tell you what, put a pin in this. I think I should bring, the major in on this, obviously.
Oh, right, sure. I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to the most senior person. Not
almost, but not quite. She looks pleased, though, that you considered her so authoritative.
Yeah.
And yeah, she leads you up to the front door of the guardhouse. There's obviously a couple of guards there, and they salute her. And she says, 3 for the jail, and we'll need to have a chat to the major. And they both nod, and they escort you inside into basically a rudimentary welcoming area. Like, it's not super welcoming, because obviously this is a very utilitarian place, but what counts as,
Yeah.
the foyer of a hotel, but what you would find in a barrack/jail in a town.
So, like, the foyer of a police station.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it called a foyer? I don't know. I don't go to cop shops.
Waiting room.
One of the guards rushes off, and the other kind of stands watch over your 3 prisoners. And shortly, 2 more male halflings appear in the room, and they introduce themselves. Or rather, Captain Gillian will introduce. She salutes the slightly younger. They're both kind of middle-aged and older, but she salutes the slightly younger-looking one, and gives him a brief explanation of what you've just told her about these.
And I nod along and add detail as necessary.
Yeah, she briskly kind of breaks down roughly what you've told her and relays it to this man. And he turns to look at you, and Captain Gillian says, "This is Beryl and Garret. This is Major Eleander Fireborn, and our jailer, Craddock Stonehorn."
Oh, strong name there. I release them into your custody.
Craddock is quite a grumpy-looking halfling. He's a stout halfling like Garret, and he kind of glares at the 3 of them. He's like, "We'll have no trouble in my prison. This way."
I'm best of luck with that.
And he kind of gives a gruff chuckle, like, "Ugh," as if they won't dare try anything with me. And he escorts your prisoners away.
Good,
with the help of one of the guards.
Can I do a, I don't want to say insight, but like a vibe check on that guy to be like, on a scale, like, because Beryl, this is actually sort of Beryl's sort of like knowledge base. Like, does this chap strike her as the kind of, like, he's good at his job, but he even likes it. Like, he's good at being a jailer. There won't be any trouble from this lot. Is that the vibe she's getting?
Roll an insight check. See how much you discern about Craddock Stonehorn.
All right. Insight, there we are. 16 on the dice, 22.
Excellent. No, that's pretty much... This guy seems like he likes the rules, and he likes making sure people obey the rules.
Right.
So if these three don't know how to stay in line...
Sam Ballard's going to have a real trouble down there. That's going to be fun.
Sam Ballard's not going to have a fun time with Craddock. Craddock is not going to be nice to these people.
Excellent.
Like, if they behave themselves, they're going to get along just fine.
Great.
But, they start causing trouble.
Well...
You get the feeling Craddock runs a tight ship.
We've done our due diligence. They know what we told them. It's all we know to tell them, so...
So, Major Fireborn... having absorbed all this information and let Craddock remove the prisoners, turns to you and says, we've been after these particular band of smugglers for some time. Thank you for your assistance in this matter.
Oh, well. Hesitate to ask, but is there a reward?
He smiles a little bit. And he's like, there is indeed a reward on offer for capture of the smugglers and the return of the goods, I believe, as well, which is excellent.
I was actually being silly. No, great.
Oh, no. You could say Bottledown has a checkered past. It was not always as respectable as it is now, and
I am aware of this, yes.
We are making a concentrated effort to keep it respectable. And like most trading ports, smugglers are bound to try and do what they do, and I am bound to try and stop them. So thank you very much. I believe Captain Gillian has already left word with the council that you'll be coming down. They will be in charge of dispensing the reward.
I see. Great.
They may have questions too.
Sure they will.
I understand it. So you don't believe this is all the smugglers?
I don't think so, no. We got between there was 3 other humans and a pair of hobgoblins. But there was 10 beds plus sand ballots, so sleeping accommodations for 11, and we only found 8. So quite aside from whatever else there was more beds than there were people, and they didn't seem like the sort of people to, like, all the beds were used. They were the footlockers of 10 people. So there must be at least 2 or 3 more we didn't find. But I get the impression they were communicating with a ship, so they had other people. Can't seem to subscribe.
From the brief description of the boat that the captain has given me, it would make sense that there would be a larger vessel that they would be making use of for their work. But no doubt you have our thanks for rendering these 3 unto us. We will question them and see what else we can find out about the operation. And hope you enjoy your stay in Bottledown.
Weird. So Falcon Wolf doesn't seem to be able to subscribe, which is a shame. Karen, Falcon Wolf is also asking if you have bunnies. Yeah, Karen does. We have bunnies. So Falcon Wolf, Karen and I are a husband and wife pair. And currently, I believe Karen has in her room my bunny, Guinea.
No, she left, unfortunately.
Oh, she fucked off. All right, never mind.
Behind me is a little pen with a cat flap, so they can come in, which they do. Tori, the bigger bunny, is the male rabbit, and he's mine. And he is bonded with Guinea, who's a smaller female bunny. And they live together in wedded bunny bliss in the cat run. They're very cute. If you head on over to my Instagram, Miss Lola Moore, there should be pictures of them up there. And yes, they do. Sometimes they get really antisocial and they don't want to talk to us. So on a good day, they're very friendly. I got pats today. I got love today. They'll probably pop back in at some point. I try to bribe them. Alrighty. So, Major Fireborn.
Can't fathom why you can't sub, Falcon Wolf. But stick around. Chuck us a follow and stick around.
Stick a pin in it. Refresh and try again later.
Yeah, try refreshing your browser. That might be it.
Alright.
Yeah, they do. Bunnies do tend to just fuck right off sometimes. Ours do particularly.
I want to be a good bunny mum. So
hey, thank you very much.
Thank you, Falcon Wolf.
Good on you.
I like to be a good bunny mum, so they have lots of like they have like a tunnel and boxes, and they can get under the hutch and hide. They have lots of hidey holes, which is great for them, but annoying if you're trying to find them because they have a vet appointment and I need to catch them.
Check out our emotes there. Falcon Wolf, as a subscriber, you can now use our terrifying Goose Raid, our Heavy Hype emote, our Kesh Wave, our Nat 20 and our Nat 1, and our Feather Heart. And we've actually just had a new emote commissioned, which we will be releasing on Thursday, our Pog emote. It's really cute, but I haven't uploaded it yet. I had to go to your page and subscribe, but not let me do it from the stream.
Poggy moments.
Yes. We both had to look up what Pog is. There we go. Yes, the Feather Heart. That is Eric Shadowmalt's feather. All right. Let us continue. Thank you so much for the follow, but let's get back to the game. So.
Yes. Major Elian Fireborn turns and walks away. And as he does so, you notice that he walks on a finely carved wooden peg leg.
Oh, cool. Love it. And I love it on a halfling as well, so it's not very long.
It's a very short peg leg, yeah.
Hey, look, I mean...
Very well made.
Does he walk with a... I don't know enough about the sea to really be able to tell, but does he walk with the gait of a sailor?
Ooh.
I could just straight up ask him what his background is, but I could much prefer to try and investigate
you could probably
it.
Captain Gilla for information as you head back.
Sure. Okay. Well, we walk back up to the council building then.
She'll escort you out of the guards building, and she's like, "I'll just take you to the council house now." And
Thank
so
you.
she takes you back down and across the bridge, and you pass your boat. You can still see Lanka standing guard.
Yep. No worries.
And you.
How did he lose the leg? If you don't mind me asking, do you happen to know?
Oh, I shouldn't, but owlbear.
Wow. I've always wanted to see one of those, never got a chance. I think there's one in the Elftime Zoo, but I don't like zoos, it's full of cages.
Can't say I've ever encountered one myself, but having seen the scarring to that leg, I don't think I want to be honest.
Fair, neither do I. Not in the wild, but, also like the idea of seeing one. I'd like to see a tame one. I'd like to hug a tame one, let's be honest. I want to cuddle it. I want to cuddle an owlbear. Who doesn't, though, I want to know what
Captain
feathery,
Gilla
furry feels like. Not taste like.
Captain
I don't want to
Gilla
try
looks mildly amused at the thought of hugging an owlbear, tame or otherwise.
it. We all do. Garrett's like, I don't know, Beryl.
And Captain Gilla's like, you'd want to make sure it was actually tame, though.
Yeah, right, of course. No, you wouldn't want to, yeah. Anyway, is there anything I should know about the council before I go in?
No, I don't think so. I can tell you that hopefully you get one or both of the heads. I'm not sure who's actually in the building today.
It's a Hydra? Oh, right, okay.
The senior members, I suppose.
It's like Tiamat. I too would like to cuddle a floofy, feathery owlbear.
So you'll probably meet either Ida Overland or Gallon Primewater. One or both, depending on who's in today.
Oh. Sitting quietly in a comfy chair by the window. Well, welcome in
That sounds like
M5. Drinking a cup of coffee to toast, hunches up and sitting quietly. Well, welcome, my friend. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
The council hall is a large brick building. It looks like it contains a number of offices, possibly a large meeting place as well.
Yep.
It's built from sturdy stone, which you sailed in past the cliffs. This stone matches in kind of colour.
Right. Is most of the town built like this?
Less stone buildings, more wooden buildings.
Oh, right, okay.
So this is a better made building.
Right. Okay.
Would
I guess it's older?
It is a little older, yes. It also has a wooden sign with a net that shows a net filled with fish hanging over the double doors that lead inside.
Great.
And there's also a small tower, which looks like it has a horn at the top, which presumably is used to announce significant events.
Oh.
You also notice that
And
there's
emergencies.
a sturdy but weather-beaten platform and gallows out the front.
And Beryl actually just elbows Garret and is like,
He's like, yeah.
that'll probably make Sam Bell a little bit taller.
He laughs quietly.
Beryl is an ex-law enforcement. She, if capital punishment, I'm going to assume capital punishment was definitely held to in Rennes as well. Yeah.
Totally hang people here, yes.
So she approves of this practice, otherwise she would not have gotten into law enforcement.
To be clear, the gallows are packed down. They're not.
Sure. It's not used regularly. No, a small town like this, how many murderers do you get? It's not just for everybody. Most of them they just ship to a continent on the other side of the world that they're slowly colonizing.
Good public neck stretch.
Good old public neck stretching.
I only discovered the other day, because obviously when you hang someone, they either suffocate or their neck is broken. Fun hanging facts from Karen. And I only learnt the other day that you could kind of deliberately manipulate which outcome was more likely by the length of the rope.
And also by where you put the knot.
Yeah. So if you got a hangman who always used a shorter rope, you're more likely to suffocate.
Yeah, because you're not falling that far.
Longer rope, you're going to have your neck snap, which is obviously the more humane,
it's quicker.
quote unquote, way to do it.
When you get a 6-foot rope and you put the knot right at the base of your spine, then your neck breaks basically instantly. It's a good drop. But yeah, hey Spina, speaking of neck stretching, as in we are speaking of neck stretching. Hi Spina, how are you? Yeah, we're talking about hanging for some reason in unusual depth. Let's keep going. Beryl and Garret chuckle at how the Sand Ballot might well be hung, though he hasn't murdered anybody as far as we know.
You don't know the extent.
As far as we know,
smugglers have committed. They definitely have been.
Actually, they did definitely kill one guy because we found a body there, and actually, I would mention that because I forgot to. They definitely did kill somebody as well, just FYI. There's a body up there. It's been dead a while. Well, and there's a second that was tied up upstairs, but that was probably done in by the bats up there. Nice segue. Yeah, there was some bloodsuckers. What are they called? Sturges up in the attic. Most of them are dead now.
Right.
We put them to sleep, put them in a bag, and then, honestly, we threw them at these guys later.
Okay.
Unconventional tactics. Unconventional situation called for unconventional tactics. They outnumbered us 4-1.
I grow ever more impressed.
But yeah, they definitely did kill somebody. We found a human man down there who looked like he'd been beaten to death.
Duly noted. Thank you.
And we left the body there, so you'll get the evidence. It's in the cellar, wine cellar. Not sadly full of wine anymore. Investigator. Yeah.
Investigate. Good to know. So there are some sturges. vampire bats?
Only one, and that's left, and he's very full.
He might not be by the time we get there.
Oh, okay.
Like, because it'll take us half a day to get up there, and.
Oh, he was very full. Like,
okay.
He killed a guy.
Oh, right.
Like, it sucked a guy dry.
Right. Noted.
That's why it was so easy to put back in the bag.
You can always see on Captain Jillar's face, just kind of making mental notes, like, okay, there's blood-sucking bats, there's 2 corpses.
One of the corpses I didn't like. Yeah, one of the corpses had been tied up and left in an upper stairs room. What happened to him and why he was there, I don't know. Got to come up with the Sturgis saying the best in the
belfry. My brain went Sturgis in the cellar, but I'm like, no, they were up. They were up high.
Well, they were down in the cellar by the end of it.
Only because we threw a bag of them down there.
It's the bats in the bag, really. Sturgis in the sack. Sack of Sturgis.
The dog likes that one.
Yeah. She does not.
All right. Captain Jillar will escort you inside the council hall. There's...
I like to imagine we're walking in through having this conversation. Like there's somebody at the front desk so just waiting patiently for me to finish describing how there's a person got sucked dry by a bat. It's like, hello.
What time of day is it actually? What time of day would we have...
Well, we left early morning, so it would be 2 in the afternoon.
Right, cool. I couldn't remember exactly what time we left.
Yeah, no, we stayed up overnight, and then we neither of us had a particularly good night's sleep, because we were taking it in turns to watch out. Garret spent a good portion of the night carving stuff on his armor.
Jillar is just getting... She's interested, but she's also like, wow, these people are weird.
She's probably got the look of adventurers. It's always an interesting thing. They just have their own language.
Yeah.
Full of pop culture references to a world I do not know. Murder of crows, the gaze of raccoons, a stank of sturges.
So now you're inside the hall. There is a female halfling at the desk there. She sees you come in. She nods at the captain and disappears behind her. And the captain gestures to there's a little kind of area set up with little comfy chairs and a little table, clearly for people to be met there. So she kind of just says, you can sit down here.
Beryl is a bard, Falcon Wolf, and Garret is an NPC, but he's technically a fighter.
Yes.
He's on his way to being a rune knight, but he hasn't, he's level 3, but he hasn't unlocked all of the abilities yet, because he only got it from a book that they found in this house, which he hasn't had a long rest yet. So yeah, that's why. Okay, sorry.
Yes, but technically he's a calligrapher by trade.
Yes.
And a scribe. He's a scribe and calligrapher by trade. But he's technically a fighter. All right, so I presume you guys grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable.
Yeah. Garret would probably immediately pull out his book and keep reading. He's got the book in Giant and the book on the Men of the Mountain, on one on each knee. And he's a very studious boy, and he's just reading away, learning to be a rune knight. Yeah, rune knights are dope, and even cooler if you're a halfling, because you don't halfling for very long.
All right.
Probably change the music now that we're now that we're in somewhere.
Yes, you are inside, sitting in reasonably comfy chairs by a table. So you'll be waiting for a few minutes. If you want to, you can keep talking to Captain Jillar, but or you can wait in companionable silence.
Well, Garret here's got a job. He's here for work. So I'd ask her where's the best inn in town where we're looking to get some food and a place to stay. I believe Garrett's got family in Bottledown, but I'll be looking for a room.
Well, there's a few options. I suppose it depends what sort of establishment you're looking for.
Oh, well, I've got a bit of money to splash around.
Let me...
And I haven't slept on a nice mattress in like 4 days. Well, heck, I haven't slept on a nice mattress in a fair while, actually.
Well, there's kind of, I suppose, 3 main inns you can stay at. The Snapping Line is the one that we walked past earlier. That's the sailors kind of stay there. Workers.
If there's a place where Captain Jilla's name carries any weight, I'll go there.
Well, then you want the Wicker Goat.
The Wicker Goat, guards. It is. Sounds great.
That's where the guards like to grab a cold one after a long day's work. Is the Wicker Goat.
Well, I always trust a guardsman because I was one myself.
And she kind of gives you a smile and a nod of like, good for you. Noble profession.
It was. I left it to follow my musical inclinations.
I thought as much from the instruments.
Yeah.
I assume you'll be doing some performing while you're here?
Well, yeah, I'm probably. I had thought I might. I've been working on some new material, but Garret here assured me that, halflings do love to sing and dance, and always love new music coming in, so I'm Rhenish, of course. Or at least I grew up there. My parents aren't, but that's where I was raised. And
drop my name at the Wicker Goat. I'm sure they'll be happy to have some fresh entertainment.
Oh, all right. Sounds great. I'll do that then. Thank you.
And after a few minutes, the door that the other halfling woman disappeared through opens again, and in bustles an older lady with the secretary, receptionist in tow, and she's carrying a tray with like tea.
Did I just hear a bunny?
Yes. Oh, no, came in and went right back out again.
I'm imagining the secretary has got like the long lacquer nails, the appliques. She was like filing her nails when we came in, so she's coming in with like doing the whole bending the fingers back slightly so she doesn't damage the nails to do anything.
No, she'll come over and pop the tea tray down on the little table and then start pouring. And the older lady greets you. She is a older lady. She's got short, cut grey hair, and she looks a little weathered. So this isn't a woman who's led a comfortable indoor life her whole life.
Good.
She's been in the outdoors. She's done some hard work in her life, even though she is now, she's working behind a desk now, but her previous life quite possibly on the sea.
All right. Well, that's to be expected. Can I look at her hands? Because whilst I am not a sailor my own self, you can tell a sailor by their hands. Perception? Or...
roll a perception.
Okay. Don't need that. What are you doing? A perception check on her hands. Oh, 19 on the dice. I'm rolling good today. 22.
She's definitely been a sailor in the past. She's got some rope burns, some scars, but like her nails are like short, neat, and clean.
Sensible.
Yeah.
She's a halfling?
She's a halfling, yes. She's a halfling. So she's clearly had a rough, hard-working life in the past, but currently she is doing well for herself. So she's quite well-dressed.
Right.
She's got some money.
Sure. So one can assume she probably owns the ship she worked on now.
She probably owns the ships now rather than sailing on them would be the way to. She sends other people out to sail her boats now.
And given what I know of halflings, like halflings tend towards mercantile enterprise and stuff like that, would it be fair to assume she's probably a merchant?
Yes, that would be very fair assumption.
Cool.
And
I bow, like a seated bow. In fact, no, I would stand. as she approaches, and just sort of as a gesture of respect.
And she's like, "Good afternoon. Welcome. I am Ada Oland. I'm one of the 2 senior members of the council. Welcome to Bottledown."
Oh, thank you very kindly.
She'll extend a hand to shake yours.
I shake. I match the strength of her grip.
She's a good firm handshake.
Yeah.
And she'll shake Garrett's hand as well. Please, hope you'll have a cup of tea.
Oh, of course.
And she'll
Sailing's thirsty work.
And she'll go and take one of the other chairs and take a cup of
I'm
tea.
imagining high, like wing-backed leather button back.
Yeah. Reasonably nice wingback chairs.
Yeah, worn, but like they're but comfy.
They're good quality, but they're worn.
Yeah.
Yes, she takes a seat and she says, I understand we have you to thank for the capture of some troublesome smugglers we've been looking for.
It was sort of an, not a deliberate, we weren't pursuing them none, but we did find them, and when we found them, they got a little aggressive with us, and one thing led to another, and we found out what they were doing. We thought, well, the ones we've got left will bring him down here. There was some implication that they were getting hobgoblins from somewhere. There was a couple with them. So there is mild concern that the hobgoblins might be an ongoing problem.
Right. Well, that's good to know. It's always, obviously, our prison warden and our major will no doubt talk to them.
Extremely competent people.
Their operation. But thank you very much. They've been a thorn in our side for some time now, but incredibly elusive.
I'm glad to be of help. They were hiding out in a place that they've done a fairly good job of convincing everybody was haunted, I imagine.
Cunning. And there are suspicious folks around these parts who wouldn't dare trespass in a haunted house, so...
Might have helped that we weren't from these parts, so we didn't know the place was haunted.
And she chuckles at that.
Garrett and I found an actual haunted house recently, so when we found out it might be haunted, like when we started digging around and signs that it was haunted came up, we were like, and? Get in line. When you tangled with a poltergeist and a possessed scarecrow, all of a sudden things like, ooh, in the darkness aren't really that scary no more.
This kind of attitude seems to endear you to her. She seems to appreciate your no-nonsense approach to haunted houses. She says, well, you have the gratitude of the council and the traders of Bottledown for helping to hopefully reduce the amount of smuggling we have to deal with. And I understand you have returned some of the goods they had stolen as well.
What I could of, yes.
Thanks. I don't know if the captain here mentioned it to you, but there was a reward on offer for the capture of any of the smugglers.
I mentioned it to the captain, but as sort of as a joke, and when I was informed that was actually the case, look, I'll happily take any money if you happen to give it to me.
She's like, the reward was 200 gold pieces.
Oh, wow. Well, Garrett, there you go. It's a tighter return on investment.
Which was an amount for, the death or capture of a significant number of the smugglers, which from what I've heard, you have more than adequately accomplished. So,
well, we have not ended your smuggling problem. I don't think there's still a boat out there, which presumably has got more of them. But the landside part of their operation, I believe I have effectively dealt with. And if you go and shut that building down, it was previously occupied by an alchemist, I think. Met the guy. He's been dead a while.
Right. So we should probably send a magic user along to investigate.
Might not be a bad idea. He looked like he was getting into some weird stuff.
And she looks at Captain Gilla, who kind of nods in acknowledgement of it. Oh yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
And she says, well, you're welcome. Obviously you're welcome to stay in Bottledown. And the halfling that was serving the tea has gone back up.
Yeah.
Has disappeared, basically. She poured you the tea and then she left. So it's like, my secretary there will is in the process of getting the reward money counted up for you. Oh. So you can have it before you leave.
Oh, splendid. Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry, I assumed you were planning to stay for a while.
Well, Garrett here's got a job. He came down to do some work for his guild. Garrett's a calligrapher, only part-time adventurer. Like myself, we're not full-time on this. This is just sort of, it happens to us occasionally. We just travel around. I'm a musician. He's a calligrapher. When he gets a job, we go to a place, and I like to have someone to talk to on the road.
Given that you've been talking almost exclusively and Garrett hasn't said much, he looked a little amused by you liking having someone to talk to.
He's very talkative sometimes. He's a bibliophile. Garrett does love his books.
Well, you'd be pleased to know, Garrett, we do have a library in Bottledown.
I'm going to jump out on a limb and say Garrett does look excited to find
Garrett's
that out.
like, oh, I'd love to check it out. That'd be great.
You might, I wonder if they'd be looking for new volumes. You've got a couple of books you weren't interested in keeping.
Well, you can certainly show them to the librarian and see if they're interested. As you can hopefully tell, we're very invested in expanding Bottledown and making it a true hub of trade. So
I love it. It's glorious to see you come a long way. I haven't been in Bottledown for nearly 20 years, but yeah, it's come a long way since then.
I'm glad you think so. And she's finished her tea already.
I've been sipping at it.
She's a very efficient woman, is your impression of her.
Bam!
So she pops her cup back down and kind of stands and kind of adjusts her clothes and says like, well, I'm so glad I was able to meet you in person. Do enjoy the rest of your tea. My secretary will be out shortly with the reward money for you. And I'm sure Captain July here can escort you wherever you have a mind to go within the town.
Well, I wouldn't want to hold up the captain any further, but thank you kindly for your for saying hi to us personally. I didn't want to impose none. But yeah, it was lovely to meet you, and thank you to Captain Jiller, but we can show ourselves around. Unless you don't like adventuring types wandering around unaccompanied.
Well, I will leave that choice up to the captain. I'm sure she has a firm idea of where she is needed at this present moment. And she kind of offers to shake both your hands again.
Yeah, I would do.
Nods to the captain and then bustles off.
She's an efficient lady.
Yes. And Captain Jula's like, very, yes. She likes to get things done.
I imagine that's probably, at least partially, why your city's doing as well as it is.
Yes, she was she ran a fishing boat initially, but now she runs several.
Runs more stuff, yeah.
But she's very popular with the people. She's the first
to
kind of step up when things need to be done, and people appreciate that.
Places need people like that.
She's got a temper though, so.
That also does not surprise me. Well, Captain Jella, it was lovely meeting you. If you fancy coming on down to the Wicker Goat, did you say it was?
Yes.
The Wicker Goat at some point this evening. I'll probably be in there. Maybe I'll be playing. Maybe I'll buy you a drink.
Oh.
As I understand, I'm about to become quite a bit wealthier.
Yes. This is a reasonably safe town. We work hard to keep it so, but I wouldn't, shout up from the rooftops that you've got that much on you.
No, I was probably going to invest it.
That's a good
I don't like wandering around. But 200 gold pieces weighs a lot.
Fantastic. Okay, so,
does she sort of leave Garrett and I to our own recognizance sort of situation?
She kind of say, do you want any kind of directions as to where to find things before I go?
Oh, well, if there's a map or something, if perhaps the lady behind the desk might have like a tourist map. Is there an information center?
She's like, give me a moment, I can do a rough impression for you. And she goes over to the secretary's desk and finds a bit of paper and kind of grabs a bit of pencil and starts doing a quick sketch of the town for you. And she brings it back and shows it to you. And she's you can see she's drawn the kind of outline of the coast. She's marked the barracks and the hall and the bridge where you've already been. And she points and said, if you you head back up towards the barracks where you just came from across the bridge, the Wicker Goat's over there.
Oh, brilliant.
It's just down a little road when you're almost to the barracks.
Lovely.
Obviously
That would make sense, which why it's the drinking haunt of the guards. Yep.
But yeah, there's shops on the bridge if you need to purchase anything. There's a market just down the ways as well. Or if you head down to the docks, there's all manner of interesting people to be met. Just quickly checking. The guild halls are also down by the
that's
docks.
probably where Garret would probably want to go.
Yeah, if you go down past kind of where the piers are, the guild halls down there. So a little bit of a walk from here, but not too far. And that's kind
I'm
of
sure we can find our way. Thank you very kindly for your help there.
rough size of it.
Cuss message to 411 for more information about your area now. This is Falcon Wolf.
It's a little enchanted, like rock.
Yeah.
And you write 411 on it with your fingers, and then a little hologram.
Little sending stone. Cool.
Sorry, I'm just double checking in case there's anything I should flag for you. No, that's about it.
Cool.
And as kind of Captain Jilla's kind of finished pointing out the various places on the map, the secretary returns and she is carrying 2 bags of gold. And she's like, I took the liberty of splitting it into 2 bags of 100 since there were 2 of you. I hope that wasn't presumptuous of me.
No, not at all. Thank you very much. There you go, Garret.
Oh, thanks. Oh, so, this adventuring life's quite profitable, I've got to say.
It is, particularly when you just happen across people doing naughty stuff. Honestly, Captain Jelly, you should consider it your own self. It's far more profitable than being a watchman. You get to do most of the same stuff. Though there isn't as much like drinking and sleeping in nice beds. There's a lot of just sleeping
Captain
under
Gilla
tarps.
Like, I will have confessed to occasionally entertain the notion, but I do enjoy the pleasure of having a home to go to at the end of it.
There is that. Well, I don't want to keep you no further, but thank you very much.
She says, the guards should have removed the goods from the boat by now. If they have, they should have only removed the stuff the smugglers were taking, but if by any chance they've accidentally removed anything that wasn't, please let me know.
I'll come
pop up to the barracks.
No worries.
I'll happily retrieve it for you. They were keen to retrieve them and start returning them.
Most of the other stuff that was ours is in Garrett's bag.
Right. Well, it seemed pretty clear to me what was and wasn't
exactly
the goods. So,
cool.
Yes. And no one's really the boat was the smuggler's boat, I understand. So I
think so.
You're probably fine to keep it or sell it if you want to.
Don't think we've got any particular need. I might hold on to it just for the now. Is there a sort of place I could tie it up?
You should be fine to leave it where it is.
Oh, all right. We'll take any of the valuables off it and just leave it down there. If that's fine, we'll just leave it tied up there. There's no berthing fees or anything like that?
There are, but don't worry about it.
Oh, well, thank you. The gold coins weigh £1. Yeah, it's only £2.
We don't do encumbrance because we can't be bothered.
Well, also, and now Garret has a bag of holding.
Yes, so it's moot for him.
Yeah. And as long as they're traveling together, it's also moot for Beryl. Beryl does not carry heavy things if there is a bag of holding around.
Garret, really?
Yeah, that bag of holding is held by Garret, the tougher of the two of them.
Cool. The secretary kind of bustles off back to her desk. Captain Jilla shakes both your hands and heads off. And you are left at the table with the tea and your new bright and shiny 200 pieces of gold.
Well, Beryl would neck the tea, what's left of it. Never liked that stuff. And
there's probably a biscuit or two if you want to wash out the taste of tea.
I was being facetious. I don't care if she likes tea or not. And Garret would swig his, and then I'd say, "Well, Garret, do you need to? When were you due to start, or is it just a sort of a you get there and you do the thing as fast as you can?"
Oh, basically, yeah. I just have to report to the guild when I get here, and I mean, obviously, I'd like to go see my folks as well. Well, not my folks, but my family.
Yeah, and yeah, of course. Well, tell you what, why don't I go and have a look and see if I can rustle up myself a place to sleep, and I'll meet you somewhere later on.
Well, what was the tavern was
It was the Wicker Goat. That was probably where I was gonna cop a good night's sleep. You want to come with, or were you gonna stay with your folks?
Well, I guess I'll go find out. But there'll probably be a room for me at the guild hall as well.
There is that. Or you could stay with me at the bar.
Well, let me go check in at the guild hall and find out kind of what the deal is, and hopefully I'll make it back up to the Wicker Goat for a drink later tonight. How about that?
Sounds great. Well, I'll see you there, Garret. Now,
And
whilst Garret
bounds off.
Whilst Garret would not be able to wear the plate armor, like he technically is proficient with heavy armor, but it would be a bit inefficient for him.
And he probably wouldn't be interested in wearing it either.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. But the scale mail, the Mariner's scale mail, was sized for a hobgoblin, which aren't they're normally like they're size class medium, not small, but you can modify the armor. To modify it down to be a Garret-sized armor. So I would think Garret would want to keep a hold of it because it's magic armor. It gives him a swimming speed essentially. Scale mail does have a negative to stealth, but he would, I would think, probably do his runic inscriptions on that and do the modifications himself because as he becomes a rune knight, he becomes proficient with smith's tools.
Cool.
So he does the work himself, and it's all sort of part of his learning the skills of his subclass sort of thing. So he would be keeping that. But Beryl would say to him, "Well, why don't I? Do you want to leave the bag of holding with me while you go and do your business, and I'll go down and see if I can't get rid of most of our unnecessary crap and change it just for gold."
Oh, if you don't mind doing that, that'd be great.
I'll sell off the plate mail and stuff. I have no need of it, and you look silly on you. So yeah, there's a longsword, a suit of plate mail, and a shield that neither of them have any need or want for. The shield is large enough to be a door on a halfling house. But yeah, you probably get decent return on investment for all of them. So Beryl would basically just change, of all the loot that they got, Beryl would change all the stuff that was not immediately useful. She would and ah about the chemical apparatus. It was like, neither of us have any particular use for it, but it's not that valuable, and it's not very big. We could keep it.
Garrett's pretty easygoing on that regard.
And the books are Garrett's. She would just say, the books are yours. You can do with them what you will. So yeah, she'll trade. There's. Oh, and I'll go and find out what those potions are.
Yeah, because we couldn't work that out, could we?
No. I think it's probably a potion of healing, but I don't want to try it before I find out. Particularly if you try it,
and then it turns out to be
and it's
poison.
not. Yeah, and heck, could be useful. And I'll see if I can't flog that wine as well, because I have no particular interest in sweet wine. Even better when you don't have to pay for them, Falcon Wolf. Bags of holding for the win. Yeah.
Free bag of holding, the best
Even
kind of bag
better, yeah. They're not super expensive. They're only worth a couple of 100 gold pieces. She could buy one, but why bother when your mate's got one? So yeah, she takes and she's got the 2 pieces of blue quartz, which I think she would want to get set into earrings.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's got a few things she'd like to do this afternoon. She'll head... Yeah.
It's probably only about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so the markets will probably be going for a little while yet, if you want to head down the road slightly.
So yeah, Beryl would head up to the market. she'd probably first go to the wicker goat and sort out a place to sleep.
Yeah. So if you cross the bridge again.
And just with a head on a swivel, not first time country bumpkin in a major city, because she's from a much larger city than this, but just sort of, what a lovely place, and isn't that? Oh, look at that over there. That's it. Yeah, that sort of thing. As she does that, and she's looking out for. Firstly, she would be looking for a jeweler. Where she would stop in and talk about getting the couple of blue pieces of quartz set into dangly earrings. Probably in silver, I think would go with her coloring. Yeah, she'd probably... and she would probably pay for it with the human skull made of gold. She's just like, well, hi there. I've got these that I'd love to get set into some earrings. And I can pay, obviously. But I was wondering if you'd be interested in a trade for payment instead. I have coin if you prefer, but she just whips out the human skull made of gold.
So the jewelers you found is just before the bridge. And it's run by a dwarf man with surprisingly slender fingers.
Oh.
And he cocks an eyebrow at maybe we could do a trade, but then you get out the gold skull. His jaw just drops, and he kind of picks it up and examines it, and he's like, yeah, I could probably manage that. So
marvelous.
You want these into some earrings?
Something dangly, a little bit fancy, maybe with a sort of a sapphire red inspired design.
Right.
Or actually, you know what? Why am I going elf? I'm a dwarf, and I should lean in on that. Something dwarven style.
Right.
That looks like your sort of thing, anyway.
He's like, I did both. But he goes and he gets kind of a little tray which has like some earrings he's made laid out.
Examples, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, anything like this kind of catch your fancy?
Oh yeah, that one right there, I think.
And you've it's kind of got a little silver scroll that kind of comes down and wraps around the stone, and it's got some dwarven
runes. Cool. Yeah, beautiful.
Like, very nice dress. Can have them done day after tomorrow.
Sounds marvelous. Thank you very kindly. And I believe the quartz and the skull with him.
Obviously, he'll jot down your name.
Yeah.
And you kind of leave him. He's just kind of holding the skull, being like, "What the?"
Like,
he knows it's gold, so that's fine. But he's like,
it's like, I don't think it's actually an actual skull that's been made into gold. I think it was been made that way. I think someone crafted it. Have a look inside. You can see it's been like where the cut marks were.
Yeah. It looks. Yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't make it. I didn't order it. I found it.
And he kind of.
Previous owner was a bit of a weirdo.
And he kind of nods very understandingly. And,
not like me. I'm very normal. And then I go away.
Leaving a slightly confused dwarven jeweler in your
who's
wake.
Pretty stoked on the profit he just made, I imagine.
Yeah, you just straight up gave him a gold skull. Like,
yeah.
He was not going to charge you that much for these.
I was considering giving him the apple, but I was like, no, I'll give him the human skull just for the laughs. Just for the giggles. And also, it's much easier than going to someone and saying, hey, I've got this amount of gold. I wouldn't mind just trading it for just straight up money. Would you mind? Why is it a skull? Yeah, about that. Falcon Wolf, I love my artificer armor smith. Name Emerald. Very nice. Race Emerald Dragonborn, class artificer armor smith. Cool. I've played 2 artificers. Both of them were battlesmiths. One was Melchizedek, and the other I played recently for Jasper's Game Week was Vape, who was a Warforged artificer, and it was so much fun. I loved playing Vape. He was really cool. Artificers are so good. And we don't get them very often. No one plays them. I haven't had an in my... Oh, no. There's been an artificer in Humblewood, actually, come to think of it. It was a Strig, and he drove Tavernish Forks up the wall. That one's hard. Vigates? Vigates is in. Yeah. They're good.
So good. Bitter.
Bitter, yeah. My German is bitter.
I have not, like, my German is very limited.
Yeah, my German is basically non-existent.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Is username you? I think.
I can't even get to 10 on German anymore. That's
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sein. Did Vape have various vape clouds that smelled like fruits and mint? No, Vape was based on an astromech from Star Wars. An actual, like, one of the characters in one of the books had an astromech named Vape. That's why. And his whole backstory was basically lifted straight from that. Nick Sprachen's a Deutsch. Username you, I'm afraid.
The German I do remember is Danke, ich schau rum, which I'm probably butchering.
You are.
It's been years. And it means thank you, I'm just looking.
Ah, yes, useful, yeah.
So basically, if you walk into a shop and they're like, Guten Tag, you can be like, Danke, ich schau rum. And then they realize that you're not German, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, and then they switch to English because most Germans speak it.
Yeah, because they speak it. My dad actually worked abroad in Austria for 2 years.
So his German's pretty good.
His German's pretty good. He still studies German. Like, he was working like somewhere where they were obviously speaking English. It was an international. I do not remember. It was a while ago.
Verlies and Draken means Dungeons and Dragons. Took me a minute.
But yeah, so my dad didn't need to speak German to do the job, but obviously he did German classes and learned a bit of German because, you know, Austria, they speak German. And my mum and my younger sister, who was still at school, went over and stayed there for a while. So they both learned a bit of German as well. And then me and my older sister, who were both like out of school, visited for a while. But I didn't bother learning any German.
Österreich? Yes, in Österreich, yeah. Austria, yeah.
So yes, my dad speaks a bit of German. So does my mum and my younger sister. Probably not anymore, actually, though. Her. Me? No.
So yes, we are playing Dungeons and Dragons. We are feeling very well. Karen stayed in Austria for a little while. I have not been to Austria. I've been to Germany, but not Austria.
Austria's lovely. Recommend. Would recommend.
I'm brilliant. I spent a single day in Germany, in Strasbourg.
I spent 3 days in Germany, in München.
You know.
Yeah, so I really should go to Germany properly because my surname is German, my family history is German, so
yeah,
we should.
Anywho's, so yes, Beryl would then probably. Warte, spricht Deutsch?
No.
Sorry, no, we do not.
Oh, it's like meine Volltomasch ist gestuft. Is that German?
That's it's not really, but yes.
Ich bin eine Berliner.
Yeah, that one. Don't do that either.
This is the level of my German.
Wasn't that was a president? Which one was that?
That was JFK, I believe.
Yeah, that was it. It was like, you're a donut?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Beryl would then go and sort herself out a place to sleep after, because she's like, this is going to take a while, so I get that done sorted quickly, like, to get the earrings made.
Yeah.
Then she'd, sort out the
Yep.
the place to sleep, and probably investigate whether or not it would be possible to, maybe not tonight, but get a gig, singing and playing. Probably not tonight though.
Well, if you go up to the Wicker Goat, it is the oldest tavern in the Bottledown. It's a 2-story building. The second floor are rooms that can be rented.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely get a room for the night. You can have a chat with the barkeep.
Yeah.
Who will happily take down a message for the owner, who is not present, that you are a bard and would like to perform. And she'll show you up to a perfectly comfortable little room, the nice soft bed. And she lets you know that there is a bathroom as well, if you want to bathe and refresh yourself at all.
Well then, username, what is your mother tongue? It's English.
Ist nicht mein Muttersprache.
Well then, speak English. Stop making me ask 20 questions. I've only had to Google a single word so far, but
one time, because I buy stuff off Etsy semi-regularly, more often than I should. One time I bought from a seller in Italy.
Oh, it's not English.
Eigentlich. It's a big job. No, I have massive respect for people.
Filipino.
Ah.
Even more impressive that you speak German then.
It's like, who are the European oppressors in the Philippines?
It's not a crossover, a lot of, probably the Brits, let's be honest.
It was probably your guys, let's be honest. This seller ended up messaging me in Italian, and I was just like, well, I'm really glad I still have some rusty schoolgirl Italian and an Italian English dictionary to work out what the hell this person's trying to say to me.
I talked to the barman.
Yes. Barkeep will show you your room. Basically, I assume you asked to have it for a couple of nights?
Yeah. At least.
At least.
Staring in frustration at the stream and repeating Darmok and Jalad at Tangara.
I think that's a reference to something I don't get.
Yeah. Don't know that one. I think it's anime.
Oh yeah, but presumably anime was already taken, so you did the whole.
Yeah, no. I was just like, because I've been trying to figure. I was like, Anim 5. What? Doesn't make any anime. It took me a minute. I'm old.
Yes, so old. We're getting so sidetracked.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You can stay here, have a drink, have some food, or you can head back out into the town and see if you can find someone to sell some armor and a longsword to.
I would do that. I'd head to an armorer and.
Right. You did not see an armorer on the bridge kind of shops where you found the jeweler. But if you head back down past the council hall, you will come to the market.
Star Trek Next Generation reference.
Oh.
And Ammon 5 is exactly correct. No worries.
There you go.
Star Trek reference. Okay. I don't know that one at all, and I should.
Well done. You found a Star Trek reference that Josh doesn't know. Because at one point, Josh's ongoing request for birthday presents and Christmas presents was, Star Trek movies. I had
and
hey, I got most of them. Thank you very much.
No, you did. Yeah.
Some of them they're not in current release. You have to hunt them down on eBay.
All right.
The markets.
Oh. Username you is partly Spanish on the dad's side.
Cool.
I'm English all the way through. I'm a little bored by it. It's like don't have any fun ancestry at all. I'm a little Welsh on one side, but we don't talk about that.
Whereas my surname is Schlink, which is very German surname. So my dad's family is German. And then my mum's side is Scottish, which is how I got this beautiful pallor. Scottish
oh, whatever,
German.
it's too hard to speak German. Correct. It's also really hard to understand it when you do.
Work it out.
Yeah, I straight up just copy-pasted that into Google Translate. I was just like, I'm partly Hispanic on my father's side. I'm like, I now have a German-English translator open just so I can understand. I was like, I'm not missing out on this.
It's good to practice.
Ich bin teilweise Spanish Wörterlists. Wörterlichtsites. Yeah.
German's got some great freaking words.
Some amazing sounding words, but you just can't. So I'll be speaking Filipino.
I don't know
cool.
any Filipino, don't do that to me.
Okay, let's just swap this over. Where's Dan when we need him? Come along on Thursday night's username, and one of our players is Filipino. So yeah, you and Dan can have a laugh.
No German speakers. We got a Russian speaker.
2. Oh no,
not on Thursday night.
Yeah, they're not here anymore. But we had 3 Russian speakers.
We still got one. We got a Russian. And my dad's not into this sort of thing, or I'd make him come.
That's sad. My mum and dad tune in every now and again, and they speak very good French. Yes.
Josh's parents play Scrabble in French.
In French, because it's too easy in English.
Like the pretentious middle-class English people they are. And I say that with love.
Up a minute. Anywho, yes, I go and sell some armor and a longsword.
Yes, you come down to the markets. It looks like this was initially just a fish market for the fishermen to hawk their wares, but it's since expanded into a wide variety of goods. So it's now a large market square. There are also food sellers who are selling many delicious things that you can buy and or drink. And there are some communal eating tables in the middle as well for people to sit down and have some food.
I would probably get a look around for a local delicacy, something to nibble on.
Ooh, okay. Yes, Karen, just think up the local delicacy on the fly, just freaking pull it out of your ass.
DM, make up some bullshit about a place neither of us have fleshed out. I'm imagining a fish on a stick. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, I'm going to give you a sweet option and a savory option to choose from. Okay, so there is a little brandy pudding that you can buy. So it's not dissimilar to like a toffee pudding, but it's infused with brandy and apples. So you can buy a little brandy and apple pudding, or you can get fish on a stick, because you said fish on a stick and I'm rolling with it.
Do you remember in Childeron, were you playing in that game where we had a food on a stick festival?
No, I wasn't there.
It's all the food on a stick. Oh, I'll have to do it again in another world. It was great. We lost a whole session to that festival. They were just going around trying various foods on sticks.
You could also get a spicy fish skewer. There's lots of chili and lemon. Chili and lemon fish skewer.
I do enjoy an Adabong Manok. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but yes. So we had when I lived in Singapore, username we had our live-in Arma, was Filipino, and she did a fair amount of the cooking for the family for about 3 years. So I acquired quite a taste for Filipino cuisine. And yes, some of the things that you were saying in chat, I'm like, yeah, I remember that. That was nice. It's chicken and coconut milk, creamy, delicious, beautiful.
This is why I can never put too much chili in food, because Josh basically does not taste it.
To the point where it'll blow your mouth off. Like,
yeah, I will be sweating and dying, and, Josh will be like,
"That's lovely." It's yeah. I love it when your mum cooks, because your mum's like, "Careful, this one's really hot," and I go like, "It's bland as fuck."
Hot is like hot to me, and Do you remember when we were traveling? I performed in a festival. We had to travel up north, and we stopped at we went to a country club, which sounds fancy, but
in Cervantes.
Yes, in Cervantes, and they had
the fanciest place to eat in Cervantes, and it had stainless steel chairs.
You could go in flip flops and like a singlet, and that would have been fine. And yes, the cooks were from Bali, so they were Indonesian. So you could get like your normal pub grub, so fish and chips and burgers.
I had a steak.
Or you could get Indonesian food. So I got like a green curry, and it was amazing, but really hot. So I'm sitting there sweating, going red in the face, my eyes watering.
And I'm having the most mediocre steak. Yeah, it was really...
Josh, if it's Indonesian people cooking, you need to order the Indonesian food.
But this is it. I was like, because you had yours come out, and I was like, that smells and looks really good. And then my steak came out, I was like, yeah, that is a massive piece of very stringy meat.
They probably don't get the best steak in Cervantes either.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting way off topic here.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Distractful tonight. So, you enjoy a
I would have
fish on a stick.
Yeah, I do. And I enjoy it. I'm like,
if you're feeling like something sweet to wash down this, you can enjoy a Bottledown brandy and apple pudding.
Ooh. Just like a pastry, like in a paper bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Like a little pastry.
I do that. I would look for an alcohol cellar.
There's are you looking for more like a bottle shop?
I'm looking to flog the rare wine.
You are looking to flog the rare wine. So inside the market, not so much. But at the edge of the market, you see a rather fancy looking wine merchants.
Oh, I had on in there
that might be like there are people selling wine within the markets, but
but you wouldn't get the same.
You can't help but notice that there is a fancy looking wine merchants.
Very well. I head into the fancy looking wine merchants.
You walk in and you immediately smell like cork and grapes. This place smells great. Looking to spice, and there's just like racks of bottles, and some of them are dusty bottles. Fancy looking dusty bottles. Josh, you Google translating the comment section again.
Put all the rice.
Rice is the best. I love rice.
What we will probably be having for dinner tonight is stew, like a full hearty English stew, but on brown rice, because it tastes better on brown.
It really does.
All right.
And
so
brown rice is harder to screw up than white rice. So.
And healthier. I go
so
in.
this place like smells like a fancy person's wine cellar. Yes, there is a rather well-dressed halfling behind a small desk, who is reading a book, but there's a little bell on the door that tinkles as you come in, and they look up and immediately jump up and smile and say good afternoon.
Oh, hello. I'm looking for a little bit of help.
Oh, in what regard? Are you looking for a particular sort of wine?
Well, I have a particular sort of wine, but it's not really my thing. I was looking to maybe trade up or trade down, or basically just divest myself of what I think is probably quite a valuable bottle, maybe quite a rare vintage, and she gets it out, gets out this bottle.
You can't help but notice that this halfling man looks a little skeptical when
you
think
that
it's an
you think
exceptionally
so.
valuable vintage.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, sure, lady. Let's see.
Well,
he doesn't say that.
Yeah.
He's very polite, but you get a hint of, sure.
Where is the bean?
Sanyong bean.
Where is the bean?
This is just making me hungry. I don't even know if you guys are talking about food, but
yes, yeah.
I know what rice means.
Yeah, and I don't even want to try pronouncing it.
Not watching, they're going to be so confused.
Username, thank you very much for the follow, by the way, as well.
They're talking about Filipino food in the chat.
Yeah, they came in like a boss, just smashed open the door and started demanding we speak German. Then when found out I was translating everything, was like, right, Filipino it is. I am massively in awe of people who can speak more than one language, but more than two, apparently.
Oh my goodness. Like, I think it's a real shame if you grow up in like
monolingual
English, like it's pretty much English speaking countries. It's pretty much like the UK and Australia and America. You don't learn a second language. You just learn to speak English, and you do a little bit of another language at school, but there's no real like.
My Welsh cousins who grew up in Wales, so not even outside of the UK, speak fluent Welsh.
Here in Canada, like a lot of Canadians,
they all speak French. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really sad that. Really sad that I never. I'm dyslexic. Dyslexics have a great difficulty learning more than one language. Traditionally, it's a fairly standard difficulty for dyslexics, but some languages are better than other. Sorry, I'm just translating that last sentence.
Oh, you also speak Spanish. Excellent.
Yeah. See, jealous, yes. I speak two languages, English and bad English.
You speak English and Aussie, mate.
Yeah, I fucking do.
Yeah, nah. Gotta go down the Bottledown, get some tinnies.
So yeah, I'm in this Bottledown, and I show this guy quite an old.
So you showing the bottle?
Yep.
Tell you what, someone in chat, and whoever gets there first. So username you can do it, or anyone else wants to jump in. Roll me a d20.
So type exclamation mark roll space 20. As in
and
just
this will decide
space bar.
What happens next?
So type roll 20. Oh, well, that's not fucking helpful.
Did you start typing and you weren't clicked onto the right window?
I typed it into Google. It's now valiantly trying to translate roll space 20.
Type, yes, exclamation mark roll space 20. Falcon Wolf, you can do it if you like.
Yeah, anybody welcome to.
Anybody welcome. First
to determine what this best
whether
dress...
it is above or below 10 will
Falcon
decide.
Wolf. Under 10 is definitely...
He examines this bottle for about 15 seconds. He examines the bottle, reads the label, kind of checks the condition of the cork. And then he kind of sighs and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's forgery."
Oh, that's a shame.
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, that was my next thing. English, Canadian
and
English.
Fancy English.
That's a 21.
21. He's bullshitting you.
Like, oh, well, that's a shame. Well, then if it's not worth anything, I guess I'll drink it. And I take it and leave.
Oh, he's like, oh, no, I'm still prepared to, buy it. I just, it's not worth much. Like, I'll give you a few, silvers for it, but.
Oh, that's all right. I say, oh, no, that's all right. I'm sure my mother would like it. I'll just save it for her. And I go to leave and say, thank you very much for your help, though. I could
exchange it for something a little bit, something, local. If you want to give her a little bottle of local something. And he's sounding a little bit, just a little hint of.
Beryl says, well, sir, I would never accuse you of maybe trying to take me for a walk out there, but I'm pretty confident I know of a fancy wine when I see one, and a good businessman might be able to just take me for a ride there.
He has the decency to look a little ashamed. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry. You didn't look like the sort of person who know what it was worth, okay?
I don't know what it's worth, but I do know it's worth something. Given where I found it, pretty confident it's worth something.
He's like, question to Josh, the DM from last week. How much did you say it was worth?
50 gold pieces.
50 gold pieces.
To the right buyer. Rick.
I'll give you 40 gold pieces for it.
That seems mighty reasonable of you. 40 gold pieces sounds fine to me. That divides evenly by 2. I tell you what, how about you point out to me a very pleasant but not sweet. I'm looking for something a little bit more on the hearty red style. Maybe a Shiraz or a Grenache. Maybe a Tempranillo. Worth around the 10-15 gold pieces margin, something around that possibly, and then maybe 30 gold pieces plus a nice bottle. Would that work for you?
Sure. And he takes the bottle from you, he counts out 30 gold pieces for you, and he goes over to one of the less dusty shelves.
Yeah.
And kind of just skims his fingers down the row, and then pulls out a bottle, examines the label, and he offers you, and it is a good-looking Shiraz that he has offered you.
Username, yes, there are silver and copper pieces in the world. 10 for 10 for 10. To a gold. I have no idea what any of those words you just said other than hearty red.
I
was raised...
Before I dated Josh, I didn't either.
I was raised a wine
Shiraz,
snob.
And I'm like,
a Shiraz, a Grenache, a Tempranillo. Yeah.
It's basically the type of grapes.
Yeah.
So it's a Shiraz grape. You get a Shiraz wine, is what I have learned. Shirazes are usually quite peppery, if I'm remembering. Whereas Merlot is more kind of softer.
Oh.
We're getting the conversion rate to Filipino.
From gold pieces to US dollars to Filipino.
To US dollars.
No. Oh, no. In my head, a gold piece is worth about $10. I envisage...
Is there an official D&D conversion rate?
I believe there is, yeah. But no, in my mind, I've always thought that a gold piece was somewhere between 10 and 20.
Whoa, okay. According to D&D Beyond...
Or it's like 100, I think.
1
D&D.
gold equals 10,000 US dollars.
That seems excessive.
I know, I'm like...
Because in the player handbook, a fancy way to a comfortable lifestyle is a gold piece a day. So that's absolute rubbish.
Okay, according to D&D Wiki, it is about $311 per gold piece.
That makes about sense. Like if you're staying in an upmarket hotel, it's about $300 a night to stay in, and then food and everything on top of that.
Yeah, a lot of people, as it turns out, have worked out the price of gold and then worked out how much a gold coin would weigh, and therefore how much it would be worth.
Which is around the $10,000 mark.
Which I should not be surprised by, really.
No, this is math nerds.
The time and the inclination to it. Falcon Wolf is asking for a wine recommendation, Josh, and I'm going to toss that right over to you because...
Falcon Wolf, where in the world are you? Because that would very much depend on that would change my answer. I would say a Merlot normally, something cherry and dark chocolate, or a Cab Sav. But it depends very much on the wine as well, how it's been casked. Florida, in which case, yeah, the Californians do some very nice work. Fucking no. 15,000 Filipino. Oh, dude. Give me 10, I could retire, you know? That. Yeah.
Okay, so the $10,000 comes from a discussion board, so it's not official.
Right.
This is someone's opinion. So we can toss that one out, because holy shit.
Oh, and Bishop Blood does it 100 to 100 to 100. Yeah. Hey, Bishop Blood, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So a platinum piece is $1,000. It's $100,000.
Not that we need another sidebar, but there was this documentary I watched once, which was basically about the super high-end, like, wine buyers market, you know, where they spend like $1 million on a bottle of wine. I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, it was basically about this dude who basically worked his way into the industry and then started selling forgeries of wine. And it took forever for him to get busted. And, you know,
because it's all bullshit.
It is all bullshit. And so, like this, and it's only really got insanely expensive since people started, you know, caring about it. So, you know, all these super insane rich people get together to buy super insane expensive wine that they then don't drink. And when they've done like blind taste testings, they can't even taste it.
They can't taste the difference. No, like I could tell the difference between a nice wine and a not nice wine, but it's basically just every now and again, I usually buy clean skins. Which is an Aussie thing where if a vineyard makes too much, they sell off the excess without a brand on it so that they don't artificially lower the value of their wine by having too much of it in the marketplace. Wait a second, who cares about pieces of paper? In Australia, our money is plastic.
Yes, my life is so restricted by the numbers a bank generates on a screen when I ask them how much money I have.
Yeah.
Feels like a scam. Anyway,
I'd
just like to say I'm totally fine with the uber wealthy being swindled with fake super expensive wine, because I'm like, frankly, if you're prepared to drop millions of dollars on a bottle of wine, you deserve
to be swindled a little bit. Yeah.
Even the real thing feels like a scam. Anyway.
Yeah.
So this wine merchant, having been busted trying to swindle you, presents you with 30 gold pieces and a rather nice bottle of Shiraz.
Lovely. Yeah, the US dollar is cotton. Yeah.
Oh, so Australian money is plastic.
Yeah, it can go through the wash.
If you get it wet, it doesn't disintegrate. Whereas apparently if you get US dollars wet, they disintegrate.
Yeah. And English pounds are paper. It's even worse.
So in Australia, you can chuck your wallet in your back pocket when you go swimming and your money will be fine. Which I didn't even think about as being a thing until I traveled.
When you think about it, it's the most Aussie thing.
Yeah.
You can go surfing with your wallet in your pocket and not worry about it. Yeah.
Like they sell like wallets for like swimmers and surfers that are made from like swimsuit material.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not 100% cotton. No, it's a mixture. But it's printed on fabric. Right, cool. So I get it $30 and a nice bottle of Shiraz. Marvelous. Cool. Then I'd go looking for a place to flog the armor. We don't need to RP it all out, but yeah.
Yeah, I will say you find that you would have seen someone selling weapons and armor in the market, and they are happy to negotiate a reasonable price for your wares.
Yeah, I will just very quickly. So I'm pretty sure plate mail costs 400 gold pieces.
How good a condition is it in there?
It's been pretty badly dinged up, but it still works. Plate mail 1,500. It's worth 1,500 gold pieces. And a shield is worth 10. And a longsword is, I think, 50. But you would not...
Basically, they'll say to you they're happy to buy it, but they don't have that much money on them. So they can do a trade, or they can...
Yeah. I'm asking for $1 for every 5 bananas, please. Yeah. Linen, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. And she would say, oh, no, absolutely. Look, I came into possession of it second hand, as it were. So I don't need to get the full value on it. But you know, could you swing 500 gold for it?
And they're happy to accept that offer.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if it's 500, I can give you the cash right now.
Oh, that sounds great. And
they kind of invite you if you want to pick any.
Maybe peruse our wares, or
it's like, oh, I can give you 500. Is there anything here that you would like to take in exchange?
Oh, sure.
Do you need a better knife?
Do they have any particularly well-made weapon? Like,
they've got a mixed bag. Like they're clearly someone who they're clearly someone who trades. So a lot of it, you know, is clearly used, and someone has, you know, exchanged it for something else. But there's probably some very nice knives. Basically, their nicer stuff would be smaller pieces.
Yeah.
So they don't have like a massive, majestic sword that you could buy, for example.
No.
But they would have some nicer knives and daggers, lighter weapons, basically. They would have some nice light weapons if you were interested in that sort of thing.
Probably pick up a couple of particularly well-made throwing daggers.
Absolutely. They would happily sell you some almost new throwing daggers that are not fancy, but definitely well-made.
Yeah.
And if you care to test them, they are very sharp as well.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, she'd pick up, I don't know, 5 throwing daggers that are designed for throwing.
Awesome. And the armorer would also like put them in a nice little leather holder.
Yeah. Cool.
That can be rolled up to store them. And he's very happy with this deal.
I have a month-old gin here worth only 50 silvers.
One of my favorite comedians, Danny Boy, he has a bit of stand-up about how beer drinkers aren't as fancy as a wine drink, and he's like, oh mate, thank goodness you've come round. I've got a 4-day-old VB that I've left open on the porch just to air it out. For those of you who aren't across their Australian beers, VB is not a nice beer.
VB is a perfectly tolerable beer if it's fucking cold. It needs to be icy cold for it to be tolerable. Tastes fine from a shoe. That's the sort of it. Putting it in a leather shoe does not radically alter its flavor profile. Let's put it that way.
It's a good beer to drink after you've already had 8 beers.
Yeah. Adamantine throwing daggers? No, they'd probably just be, yeah. This guy is doing really well, but hey, I didn't pay for the armor in the first place. This is fine.
He still has to find someone who's prepared
to buy slightly battered plate mail.
Who can afford slightly battered plate mail.
Yeah, and a human-sized one as well. So, yeah, I don't know how many human foot traffic you get through here. It is a trading port, but still.
Yeah, you've seen some humans around.
Oh, yeah. No, he's not going to struggle, but yeah. Cool.
He'll probably, he looks like he has some like rudimentary tools as well. So
he'll fix it up.
Tidy it up and it's not the fanciest weapon place, but it's
Yeah. I get rid of all 4 items or all 3 items there because I'm not particularly interested in selling in making this a particularly long shopping trip. But yeah.
Sounds like Modelo beer. It tastes like piss warm and marginally better after sitting in the Yep. Sounds like VB.
How many skull pieces do I need for a pure silver carriage? A lot. Full suit of plate mail wouldn't do it. Horses also have silver.
This is some Cinderella level of fantasy.
Yeah. Can it be shaped exactly like a giant pumpkin, please? Cool. So I do all this trading and stuff, and then we skip forward to the evening, perhaps. I'm just aware that we're sort of
your
stagnating.
Takes up a couple of hours. It's getting close to sunset. You know, people are starting the market sellers that don't sell food are like starting to kind of close down their little stalls and move on.
So I'm just going to make a note that Garret and Beryl, their combined wealth together is 492 gold pieces. And 30 silver pieces, 30 copper pieces as well. Let's not forget that. That I've managed
Very important.
For what I've either managed to trade in or get rid of. And a couple of other bits and pieces. Yeah, cool. Beryl would also find somewhere to dispose of or change out the other golden things. Ravensteel, good to see you. Did you miss the whole jailing situation? You did, but it wasn't that much. Silver coating or made of solid silver? Yeah, it wasn't that particularly big deal, please. Go ahead and calculate, please.
I'll say there will definitely be someone in the market who's selling, like, kind of jewelry. It won't be as fancy as the jewelry you went to earlier, but you could probably do a trade with them.
I was like, hey, I've got some stuff that's just made of solid gold. Do you want it? Would you be interested in it?
And you get kind of a wide-eyed look like, solid gold? Okay.
It's just made of solid gold. I think it's been made that way rather than turned into it, but I got here a golden apple and a rose, which is actually kind of nice. And then just some discs, just like some gold discs. And these are gold coated. I don't know if you'd be interested in that. And I get out 4 rib bones. It's a little grisly, I know.
You're getting some very funny looks from this woman.
Look,
this is actually a human woman at the jewelry store, who examines all of this looking very... What? But then kind of shakes herself out of it, and she gets out a little set of scales and carefully weighs everything and calculates the value of the gold. And she gives you a fair price for it.
Cool. It would all up be worth 20, 30, 65 gold pieces, so take 60 for it?
Yeah, she offers you 60 for the lot.
Cool. 552 gold pieces. And we've gotten rid of all of that. You guys are fucking rolling in it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, still got the chemical apparatus because we didn't know whether or not we want to get rid of it. Got rid of the rare wine and now have a 10 gold pieces bottle of Shiraz.
Once she's kind of counted out your coinage, she'll be like, "Can I interest you in anything?" And kind of gestures to her wares.
What she got? I'm maybe looking for maybe a ring for Garret. I buy him a present.
Nice. Yeah.
Something simple.
Ask a few questions like, who's the ring for? You know.
Just a friend. Young man. He likes. Is there anything with like a giant rune on it? Something that that looks vaguely giant-esque. Given that Beryl does not speak or read giant, something that looks a little bit giant-y.
I was like, oh, don't know about that, but I got these. And she gets out a little box and she opens it up. And you know, kind of those rings that have like a flat circle on them.
Yep.
It's like a band,
like a signet,
has a flat circle that, a signet ring. It usually has something engraved on it.
Yeah.
And she has some of those. Some are blank. They just have, you know, the circle there ready to be engraved.
Ready to be engraved, yeah.
And some of them, you know, have what clearly would be crests. And there are a few with like, you know, letters from various languages.
Right.
She's like, I can't say I speak any giant, so I couldn't tell you if any of these.
Why don't I get a blank one and Garret can personalize it himself?
Absolutely. I do engravings if you care to stop back.
Noted. He'll probably tell you what he wants done on it. Yeah, well, I'll send him back your way. So yeah.
Do you buy a ring or do you just leave it?
I'd buy one, yeah.
Cool.
Mike Moans is raiding with a party of 54.
My
wow!
Goodness. Hello, Mike and friends.
Throw your favorite raid emotes up in chat, raiders. Welcome.
Is that a kitty like tapping pew, 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 pew,
on pew. It does look like it, yes. Guys, thank you so much for the raid. We're having a gold-plated sandwich and buying a ring for a friend.
Just a friend, though. It's not romantic.
Yeah, it's not romantic at all. Yeah, cool. How much would the ring set me back?
Are you looking to get him a gold ring or a silver ring, or she has some brass rings as well?
I think not brass. Maybe gold for his complexion?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Smells
nice.
like chaos.
I have no idea what a nice gold ring is worth in D&D worlds.
So, butthole bongos make a sweet, sweet sound. Is apparently what we were playing over on Mike Moans. Great. Word. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Mike Moans. You bloody legend. What were you guys doing? Throw your favorite raid emotes up in chat, and we will do. We will find out what Mike Moans is doing at.
Oh, he's a D&D mini painter.
Ah.
Excellent.
Greetings, mini painter, you say?
Let Josh show you his extensive collection.
Like these boys? I am a bit of a mini painter my own self. I'm Whammer. But I've been known to paint a D&D miniature in my time. Rip Artist, thank you very much for the follow. He's a top-notch painter. I do some 40k some days as well. Excellent. Well, Mike, thank you so much for the raid, you bloody champion. They were playing Dungeons and Dragons, as in they were streaming D&D content. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for the raid. We are Corsair's Cove. We are also a D&D channel. I do play a bit of Warhammer Total War as well. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Crafting. Mike is the greatest. We only follow him because of his cat Willow. Great. Okay, that explains the cat. Mike's one of the boys.
Where's the dog? We've got a cute dog. Where's the dog?
Here he is. She was probably asleep on our bed, so
She probably is.
just woke her up. Where's Papa? There she is.
Oh, she's coming to me.
Oh,
Never
okay.
mind. We can't do you a cat because we're both allergic, but we can do you a pretty cute dog. Give me 2 seconds.
I would love to see the horror you worked on today. Serum! Hey, my friend, how are you? Serum says an apple in solid gold is worth about 60,000 AUs. I just way too much time on the internet working that much. Well, yes, here we are. We have a pupper instead of a kitty. We also have bunnos, but they're being antisocial.
Yeah, they're outside. One of them came inside for like literally 5 seconds and then left again.
This is Siri. Siri is a cavoodle schnauzer cross. She's actually about 18 months now. I need to change that command.
Need to update.
Dog and puppers. Yes, well, Rip Artist and everybody else, thank you so much for the raid. Smash that follow button, and our channel, please go and check out Mike Moans if you like your D&D painting. Yes. Sadly, my camera's not very good, so I can't really show off the quality of my D&D painting, which is pretty good. I take commissions as well, so yeah.
What was that competition you entered while we were in the UK?
Oh, I came fourth in Golden Demon. So I'm quite.
What it was called.
I'm quite good at
it.
it. In England. Yes. Not none of this. Not this. Coming third in or coming fourth in I don't know, Fiji isn't that impressive, but doing it in England where 40,000 people enter the competition, this is kind of good. Do you paint Super Nintendo casings? Heck yeah. No, I don't, but that's cool. Wait, what? Golden Demon? Yeah, I've competed in and come close to winning one. I was like, damn it, so close. It was
because it's the Fire Belly, wasn't it?
No, it was the one that I got the nod for was this guy.
Oh yeah.
Was my pirate giant. And they said, your painting's not amazing enough, but your conversion job is freaking brilliant. He's got anchors and stuff that he's pulling along. He's wearing the big wide pants, and he's got the pirate hat and the seagull on his shoulder. That's Big Steve, the bosun's mate.
And Mr. and Mrs. Crafting, don't worry about derailing streams. We've been so easily distracted.
This one, we have achieved very little.
We have achieved almost nothing. Hey, you turned over your prisoners. You got the reward money. You found somewhere to stay. You've done some shopping. And I am happy to tell you that for a plain gold signet ring, we'll set you back 5 gold pieces. But if you're prepared to go to 20, you can get one with a nice braided gold band. A little detail around the edge of the circle.
Definitely do that. If you head on over to our Discord, you can check out some of my painting work in the miniatures section or in the art section. Do I need a link permit to share? Don't know. I don't think so. I think I've allowed links sharing. So chuck that up, Mike Moans. We'd love to see what you do. Instagram link Mike Moans. Look, Mike Moans.
I'm gonna go stalk you now.
Oh, that's very upsetting. I have to log in, but yeah, that's... If it's the nasty... It looks like it's throwing up its own face.
Oh, God. It's like a horse with something else coming out of its face. That's
Siri didn't like it at all.
No, Siri just lost her shit because a rabbit came inside.
I also quite like Twitch streamer Mike Moans rubs Willow's tummy. The mimics are dope. As is the orc on a pod bike.
Oh, wow.
Is it good? Guys, check out Mike Moans. He is a really good painter. I'm loving the boys.
I like your shark. I can relate to the shark, unlike most of the other things. Yeah, keep going down. There's a shark.
Oh, that's cool. Yes. I quite like the wizard at the table eating cheese.
The only time I vaguely got into miniatures was when they released the rabbit sled from the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, I have yet to get. I meant to get it for you and paint it. Ooh, there's some salad, and that's Haradrim from Lord of the Rings, and Ursula. That's cool.
The horse
I love the purple space marine. That's dope. As is the Cyndaquil. That's adorable too.
I love that Josh knows what all of these things are, and I'm just like, well, it's definitely a miniature.
I am card-carrying gold-class nerd.
I am light-class nerd.
Yes. Well, a pleasure having you. Thank you all for joining us. An absolute pleasure meeting you all. Not even Pokemon? Karen played Pokemon Go.
I did. That is the extent of
For the weekend we stayed in Melbourne.
Yeah, I played it for a week.
Did quite well. Caught quite a lot of Pokemon.
I'm trying to
rule.
think what would be my most nerdy endeavor, would you say?
This right now. What we are currently doing. The fact possibly that we're also in a D&D podcast, There Be Dragons. You can check that out.
D&D's probably.
That right there.
I do quite a bit of D&D, to be fair. Yeah.
We do, we professionally do D&D.
You say professionally. I don't see us making a whole lot of money from this endeavor.
We get paid.
Yes.
I said, hey, what's going on?
Fellow Australians. What part of Australia are you from? I said, hey, what's going on? Paparodica's pretty nerdy.
Has nerdy bits. Has Serum seen Paparodica?
Yes.
See?
Oh, have you?
Don't think so.
Melbourne.
Oh.
I have been to Melbourne. That is the place I played Pokemon Go.
How did you know I said, hey, what's going on is from Australia, Karen?
Because they commented that they were a fellow Australian.
Okay. I was like, is that an Aussie saying? I don't know. I've lived here for 20 years. I've heard most of them at this point.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Crafting, Paparodica is kind of my baby. It is a live show we do, and it is puppets reading erotic fiction. So I write short erotic comedy stories that are quite silly, and then the puppets read them dramatically in front of a live audience. We've been doing it for 7 years. And I keep saying that I'm going to record them for the internet and not got around to it. So puppets have some interest. They do. It is quite silly because I've always read romance novels and erotic novels for fun because I find them entertaining. And well, Falcon Wolf, you pressure me and I will get round to turning it into a podcast, which I've been meaning to do. Like, I made the logo and everything. This is Yusuf, everybody.
Hey, guys. Good to see you.
Yusuf has many different personas in the Paparotica.
Yes, I fucking do. I've DM'd. In Paparotica.
Yes, we did a D&D segment in the Paparotica show where basically we put 2 audience members in a fantasy bar setting and they had to pick up.
Good fun. Yeah.
And we had
it was the
D20
race to see who could do it first.
Yeah, they had to roll to see how successful their moves were.
Puppets
can be fans of any kink.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Odd, but I'm curious about how this turns out. Yeah, look, no, it's weird.
It's weird, yeah. I made a Paparoticast logo and everything, but never got around to actually recording the stories. So.
What? You did that? We need to do it, Karen.
Yeah, I made the logo and everything, and then.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Dino Erotica? I feel I have.
Yes.
I can't.
Yes.
There's the name of
Chuck Tingle.
Is it Chuck Tingle who does the Dino Erotica?
Yes. Gay Dino Erotica.
Why haven't you read that? Look, I'll put it on my to-do list, guys.
And if so, why haven't you read that yet? No. We write our own erotica.
We do write our own.
John from Phoenix Wacky know about Paparotica. No, he does. He might do. Josh has mentioned it on stream on Phoenix Wacky, so probably. Yeah. Because John's having puppet players as well, which is super exciting. Staying for the D&D, staying for the oddities and erotica. Yeah, Falcon Wolf, we are weird people who do a lot of strange stuff. Josh and Karen used to work for a company called Constable Care, which does educational puppet shows for children. That's how they got into the puppetry. I don't know how well this translates. Visually.
So if you've ever done children's entertainment, it's a lot of wholesomeness and not swearing or making rude jokes, and so you need an outlet for that. So most of us had dirty versions of various elements from the show that we would do for fun when there weren't children around, because we're not monsters. And eventually I said, this could be a show.
Paparotica is fun, but not well. So Josh is bringing nephews. They'll learn stuff.
They'll get some fun new words, you know.
My old next door neighbors came. She brought her son, who was 16 at the time. He got up Tane got up and he fucking nailed one of the games, which was, as I recall, is it a sex toy?
Yes. Turns out he knew his sex toys. I'm like, you're 16.
He could do it by hand. He was doing it by touch. It was basically you put your hand in a box and the box contains is maybe a sex toy, maybe not a sex toy. And he was really good at it. Not the country, the world.
Well, we are currently at the beginning of starting a little business entrepreneurship program the Australian government runs. And yes, that was the recurring joke. Anything is a sex toy if you're creative.
And brave enough.
Yes. And it's for the specific purpose of trying to expand our kind of creative business, of which this is a part. So I'll try and get some Paparotica content up on YouTube or podcast form if anyone wants to go and join.
I'm going to stop now because Josh hasn't puppeted in like 2 months and his arm is killing him.
Yeah. We have to structure the show very carefully so we get breaks. Otherwise, your arm feels like it's going to fall off.
It's just tendons you don't use a lot. The stream is really derailed. Oh, mate.
This is technically a D&D. It's one-on-one D&D. I'm DMing tonight, and Josh is playing the character Beryl, who you can see is the little Hero Forge characters. That's Beryl on the right, in the pink and white, and on the left is her current NPC companion, Garret, who's off at his guild at the moment. And Beryl was at the markets in the town of Bottledown, where they've just dropped off some smugglers they caught in a haunted house, and she's now doing some shopping.
Yeah.
He's had the local delicacy, which is a lemon and chili fish.
Yum.
And she's just bought Garret a gold ring of friendship because they're friends, not lovers.
Yeah. Hey, McBluff, good to see you. Is this D&D or D&D S7? So this is D&D now. Yeah, let's try and get back to the D&D. We've had the puppets. Just turning into Twitch late night. Look, a lot of our one of the things we love about this is that we do just get to chat with our audience, hang out. As he gently ran his... Wait. To read this. As he gently ran his soft, fuzzy hand down my purple fairy hips, it felt so amazing that the fur of my puppet body stood on end. Are you going to keep teasing me? Or are you going to do something to tend our needs? What? Yusuf doesn't normally do the sexy stuff either. Yes, Yusuf's stuff is weird.
Yeah, we definitely have ones that are sexier that I normally do. And then Josh does the funny ones.
Serum, I don't know if there's any rocks around this town. This is Karen DMing.
You'll have to ask me if there's any rocks.
Yeah, are there any rocks that shaped, I don't know, any like... Falcon Wolf dies laughing. Oh no!
Come back, we like you.
It's fucking great. Okay, back to the D&D. There are cliffs. Are they shaped like any
so
amphibians?
It makes sense that there would be rocks. Yes. Sure. Serum, to answer your question, there are rocks. Whether any of them are shaped like frogs from certain angles?
Fuck you. Fuck all.
For the uninitiated, there was a joke about a rock that looked like a frog from a certain angle, and no one is ever going to let Josh live that particular exchange down.
It doesn't look like a rock from every direction.
Anyway, you have had a snack of fish and brandy pudding.
I've dropped 20 gold on a ring.
And golden items for cold hard cash. And brought a friendship signet ring for your friend Garret, who you were going to meet for a drink later. So it is...
Oh, it's so good. That
oh my goodness. I love... So when Guilford Godfrey died, I was just like...
No.
Yeah, fish
his hand on my vagina! Yeah. Fish and pudding. What a combination.
I loved how I was all like, we're only going to go for 2 hours tonight because I have a cold and I'm not feeling 100%. And it's like,
no, this makes you feel better.
It does. It's very good.
If you want to end, we can end. But like, you're being all perky, and you've been perkier than you've been all day. And we've got loads of people in chat, and we're having fun. So you end it whenever you like, my lovely. But
okay. All right. You are at the outskirts of the markets. It is coming into the evening now. So what would you like to do, Beryl? You can go back to the tavern and have dinner.
That would probably be it. I was aiming to meet Garret there for dinner, maybe meet the town watch captain as well. I wasn't gonna play tonight, but I think I've acquired a booking for tomorrow night.
Well, you've left word with the barkeep.
Yeah. So. Falcon Wolf. Yes, you nailed his voice. Well, Falcon Wolf, we are both voice actors as well. That's something else that.
Many things.
Yeah, it's very talented. Yeah. So, I would head back for a drink at the bar.
You walk through the quietening streets of Bottledown, across the bridge and up towards the Wicked Goat. There, I wish I'd made up that name.
It's so good. Yeah. I have a very vivid mental image.
The Wicked Goat. And yes, the Wicked Goat is heating up. There are a number of guards inside, availing themselves of dinner and drinks. You can smell nice food smells as you re-enter. And there are, the drinks are flowing, and a dwarven bard is on the small stage singing an upbeat ballad. A different dwarven bard is up on the stage.
Only room in this town for one of us.
It's up on the stage singing a fairly upbeat ballad about a halfling and his pet pig.
What is it? Okay. Yeah. That does sound fun. I go in, I enjoy the, hang on, we need to switch out this ambience then, don't we? I go in and I order myself a beverage and listen to the story of the halfling and his pet pig. And
like, the bard's quite good, but not as good as you.
Big kiss from the Netherlands. Mr. and Mrs. Crafting, thank you so much for joining us. An absolute pleasure to meet you.
We're back on Thursday, 7 p.m. Australian West Standard Time. If you want to hang out with us,
round about the same time, 3 days' time, we'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow night, doing some talking about a new thing. Actually, I'm wanting to run a game in the BattleTech universe. So I have acquired the BattleTech RPG system, and I'm going to get my head around it. So that's what I'm going to be doing on Tuesday nights, sort of building characters and working on that. So world building sort of stuff. So if that's your jam, come on down. Love to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Rhiannon's Miniatures, for the follow.
Right. So I assume you avail yourself of drinks and food?
Absolutely, yeah.
They do a very nice, basically a seafood stew. Basically, and different every day. So you can have the seafood stew of the day if you like.
Sounds great. That sounds great.
It's
not Karen's jam at all, but Josh's, absolutely, yeah.
No, not. I would hate this, but no. Well, it's a fishing, trading, seaside.
Yeah, so makes sense.
Be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get yourself a.
I always say, if you can't see the ocean the fish came out of, don't buy the fish.
And it is a crab stew today.
So yum!
Crab stew. And at some point, the owner will come over to greet you. They've been told who you are by the bartender who spotted you come in.
Oh.
And they confirm that you are welcome to perform the following evening.
Oh, marvellous.
Do so.
Cool. Is there a crab stew? Sounds terrible.
I hope you feel. Never had it.
I hope you feel better soon. Serum has COVID.
I find out tomorrow if my cold is COVID. So yeah.
Yeah. I didn't, so hopefully you don't either.
Yeah, I've been out in public though. I could have anything.
I'll survive, I'm sure.
I know, it's just like, I've had like a sore throat and a sniffle all weekend. Could be COVID, could be nothing. Guess I'll go get swabbed.
Was it last week or the week before feeling absolutely terrible?
It was not this week, but the week before, yeah.
Be disappointed to discover I did not have COVID. The last worst person at work, that's the worst, because then you had to cover for everybody else. Ugh. Cool. Would there be a fee for playing?
Oh, yes. Basically, you get tips, and they'll also pay you
cool. Yeah.
Fee. And the owner is clearly excited to have someone new in town to perform.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Is the dwarf a local?
Yes, the dwarf is local.
Okay.
And he's good, but everyone's already seen him.
No judgment. Yeah. We know his repertoire. Cool. Alrighty. Well, yeah. I have dinner, and I think Beryl drinks beer. So she'd be having a big tankard. She's a dwarf.
He also brews beer, so...
Yeah, absolutely. So she'd be actually probably having, she'd be trying out all the local stuff, because this is not an era where, famous breweries ship their stuff all over the world. It's basically the local stuff. I
imagine you've finished your stew and on to your second pint, and Garret turns up.
Yep.
And joins you for a drink. Hey, Beryl. How'd it go?
Oh, good. Managed to turn to tidy profit.
To sell kind of most of the stuff we kind of
I got rid of the lot. With the exception of what you and I both got paid individually, we are now 532 gold pieces richer.
Whoa!
I know, right? I did take a liberty and got you a little present.
Oh.
She pulls out a little purple velvet bag that she was given the ring in, and she says, I didn't know, I figured you probably want to get one of your new runes inscribed on it, but didn't know what one of them would look like, so here you go. And she gives him the gold ring. I got some jewelry made for my own self, so I thought it was only fair.
Garret takes it and is silent for a long moment, just kind of looking at it.
Doesn't mean nothing by it, this is a friend thing, not a...
I assume that. No one's ever got me such a nice gift before. Thanks, Beryl.
Well, Garret...
And he looks quite like Garrett's not super old, but he looks like like a chuffed little boy right now.
Yeah. So, well, Garret...
He's not romantically interested in you at all. He's glad for the clarification that this is a gesture of friendship, but he's still super touched.
He thinks they're 500 gold pieces richer. They'd have to take the whole bag of holding because that's where all the money is, because Beryl doesn't want to have to carry around like 40 pounds of gold. She says, well, Garret, you know, I really appreciated the time we've hung out. You've had my back, I've had yours, but it's just a little token of my appreciation on that.
Thank you, Beryl. It's been nice to meet you again after all these years.
I'm so proud of how far you've come along.
And he like blushes when you say that. It's like, oh, thanks. I probably got at least a few days' work here. Basically, they're rewriting out some records that have gotten, deteriorated. Oh, right. So they're basically getting a few extra scribes in so we can write them all out nice and neat. So obviously you don't have to stay, but I'll be here.
Well, I've got a gig playing here tomorrow night at least, but
right.
I'll nice change of scenery. I did a bit of shopping today. I put an order in that's not going to be ready for a couple of days for some new earrings. So I'm here for at least 2-3 days.
Okay, well.
See what happens on the morrow.
Awesome. I'll go get myself a drink, I guess. Celebrate our good fortune.
I say, oh, well. And I just sort of indicate to the barman and say, same again, would you please? 2, one for my friend. And when the captain of the watch comes in, one for her as well on my tab.
And you get a absolutely.
Yeah, like Beryl would have put a solid gold apple down as sort of.
You sold that.
I know.
Yes, you've been a good tipper, so the bartender is now very good friends with you.
Yeah.
And eventually, yes, the Captain Jilla eventually wraps up her duties for the day and joins you for a beer.
Cool. Excellent. I don't know if there's I don't have anything particularly I want to say to Captain Jilla. Just hang out and make a new friend in a new town, basically.
Yeah. She won't go into any great detail about what happened with the smugglers after you dropped them off, but she'll say, oh yes, both the major and the head of the prison have had a talk with them. And the way she says talk implies that it could have been anything
more than
from
talking?
literally just talking, or there may have been some pliers involved. And she says, so we're getting some interesting information. Thanks very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. If you need any help further along with that, then let me know. I'll be around for the next few days. I think I've got a gig here. Taking over from that gentleman tomorrow night.
It'd be great to have someone new. Like, no offense to, Steve over there, but we all know his songs by now.
Oh, yeah, he's very good. I hope he doesn't mind.
Oh, no, he'll be glad to have a night off,
Oh,
Sometimes
well, that's good.
Steve has been known to complain that there's not enough bards in town, and he could use,
I know what a dwarf grumbling sounds like.
Captain Jilla will probably introduce you to some of the other guards. Who are excited to meet, the people who have captured the smugglers, and you have a fairly raucous and enjoyable evening.
Yeah.
Steve does take requests, so you can ask him for a particular song if you like.
Oh, play that one about the halfling and the pig.
Oh, that one again? Steve busts out the halfling and his pet pig. Very fast tempo.
Yeah, upbeat. There once was a pig who... Yeah, I don't know.
And you pass a very pleasant evening and eventually will slightly drunkenly stagger up to your room.
Yeah.
And Garret has been invited to stay at his aunt's house.
Oh, cool. I was going to ask. My name's Steve-O the Bard, and this is Dwarven Jackass.
Steve-O has been known to play songs with a firecracker stuck up his ass.
How'd that go, by the way? Do you find him? Because I know that he wasn't raised like he was raised by the guild sort of thing, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sort of an orphan on the streets, and yeah, it was like, so you managed to find him. That's good.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah, nice. Mart was real nice. She was real happy to see I was doing well. So yeah, she's asked me to stay with her while I'm here, so we can catch up.
We get to know her. That's nice.
Get to know my family a bit, which is nice because I don't have a whole lot of family.
Well, and as well, like, I don't want to put no racial stuff on you, but halflings are all about family.
Yeah, and there weren't too many halflings.
No, not in our time. No.
Keith, like, 100 gold pieces of
Hey,
stage.
Steve! Steve rolls his eyes. He's like, boys, my ass is getting real puckered.
This is what I get for naming him Steve. I hadn't named him, so it was the first name that came to mind.
It's like throwing a firecracker down a hallway.
You know what? I think Garret will stagger out into the cool night air to go back to his aunt's at some ungodly hour.
And his aunt's like, oh, God, why did I ask him to stay with me? He rocks up first night in town, pissed as a newt.
He did tell her what he was going to do. So.
Humming along to the song that Steve-O has been playing. I know exactly where you've been.
You've been at the Wicker Goat, haven't you?
Bloody Steve. He needs some new songs. He never stops singing about the firecracker in his ass.
And you know what? We have been going for almost 3 hours without it.
So I think we should wrap it up there, shall we?
Wrap it up there with Beryl and Garret enriched by their adventures, getting a fair amount of aplomb for tackling the smugglers that had been such a blight on Bottledown's trade in recent times. And there you go.
Thank you very much. Well, guys, we should... firstly, we need to say some thank yous. Thank you to Sirenscape for our music for today. That 200 gold pieces will he get the fart helmet from upstairs.
Oh, hell yes. Typed it and said it, Serum. You just know there's a bard who uses farts for comedy effect, because the farting's always been funny.
Yeah. Bodily movements are always fun. So, Karen, tell me about yourself. We need to say thank you to Sirenscape. We need to say thank you to Serum for all their work behind the scenes setting the channel up in the first place. Serum is the person who did our ! Discord, which is now open for business. Board. We need to put up our socials.
Yes, on my Jonathan's social media.
Check out on our Insta and our Facebook, the Book of Face, and check out our Twitter at Corsairs_Cove. Smash that follow button.
One word.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Corsairs Cove or one word.
It's wrong then. On the Twitter.
On the Twitter.
The Twitter is _, isn't it? It's the
Let me
Instagram.
check the Twitter real quick.
Because I got that off the Twitter.
Oh, I do apologise. You are correct. It is
Thank you.
Cove.
I did check before I made that check command. So yeah, check us a follow on any of those things, you bloody legends. Smash the follow button here if you fancy it. If you enjoyed tonight's weird and wacky content, we will be back. I'll be back tomorrow night talking about Battletech, which is really cool. I'm hugely into the Battletech universe, but I've never played the RPG of it before. I am considering it now because it's really cool. Serum, I actually do nothing. Josh just likes to troll. I don't like that. It irritates me. Stop it.
Stop talking about the frog.
It never dies. 2 seasons ago.
Wasn't even on this channel.
And it wasn't even on this channel. No one here knows what you're talking about. Twitter, is that like the microwavery? Yes.
Microwave.
Karen, can you tell me who the absolute heck you...
I am Karen. I am a writer, a performer, a font of internet facts, according to my bio, because I spend too much time on the internet. You can find me there on Twitter as Mother O Bunnies, because for some reason it won't let me have Mother of Bunnies. You can also follow my sexy burlesque alter ego, Miss Lola Moore, on Instagram. We also have an Instagram for Pupperotica, if the tales of puppets and erotica intrigued you. And I will try to get some of that up online for those of you who do not live in Perth and cannot experience the live joy that is the Pupperotica craziness. You can also listen to my dulcet tones on the There Be Dragons podcast, which is a 5e gunpowder setting. And I play a dragonborn warrior called Ryland Westfall.
Ep9 dropped Monday, I want to say,
last week. Last week.
Yeah.
So we just had a new ep out in which I do a bad Spanish accent for a character that appears in a magic mirror. So go enjoy that.
Oh, was that your voice? Oh,
that
cool.
was my voice, yeah.
Because it was heavily distorted, so I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
He laid some effects. He laid some effects over it to come.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Accent,
yeah, Tony Cruz. That would be cool. Yes. And the bad Spanish accent. Oh, it's awful. And Mesdames et Messieurs, Dames und Herren, and beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, where we play D&D. But you've done that already. Well done. Keep doing it. Thank you very much. I run the Humblewood campaign on Thursday nights here, 7 p.m. AWST starting time, which is 7 plus 7 GMT. If that helps you at all. Love the accent, Josh. Oh, thank you. Well, yes, this is how I speak properly. But my accents are all over the place. Sometimes I am doing this voice for Scan Felspar und his little dragon Rush in the D&D podcast There Be Dragons, which is a 5e D&D podcast in a fantasy gunpowder setting, which has been mentioned several times before. Karen and I are both involved in that. That actually was our gateway drug into D&D, and it has escalated quite a lot since then. Lola Moore can be found on YouTube as well, Karen's sexy burlesque alter ego. And if you want more of my face and voice, Pupperotica. We also have our YouTube fully updated with all the back episodes you may have missed. Look for Lola Moore Burlesque because there is a pastor with the same. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
She wasn't around when I made up the name.
Yeah.
Because I googled that name intensively to make sure that there was no one else with that name, and then now there's a pastor.
Well,
called Lola Moore. And one day I feel like she's going to message me and be mad at me for doing.
Yeah, it's American, obviously.
You'll know the difference because she's sharing sermons and I'm sharing videos of my live performance.
Butt pics. So. Yeah. Some amazing butt pics. Tony Cruz, you're both very funny to listen to. Thank you, Tony Cruz. It's very nice of you to say.
We try to be.
We do need to do favorite moments. That's what we haven't done. So at the end of every session, we like to do favorite moments where we talk about our favorite moments from the stream. So as I'm the player today, I should go first. Karen, do you have any favorite me moments?
Ooh.
I have a favorite you moment, so that's easy for me.
I did love that when you were with Captain Gillar, that you were just word vomiting all these crazy details from your adventure. And, she's just sitting there going, what?
Yeah.
So there were bats.
Beryl's getting a real kick out of just I know it's fucking weird, right? Now I'm saying it out loud, it sounds insane.
Yeah, so just Captain Gilla being they're very business, very matter of fact, and then you're just all these crazy things happen. She's like, so yes, I did enjoy Beryl's just, because Beryl is she's bad, she's a storyteller, so she's just enjoying unloading all her info onto the poor, slightly flummoxed captain of the town guard.
My favorite me moment, I quite enjoyed. I would think the ring actually. Yeah. I quite liked getting the ring and giving it to him. That little chat, that little, telling him that she's really proud of him, and because for those who are new to the stream, Beryl arrested Garret when he was a kid for stealing books, and he got put in the slam for 30 days or whatever, not long. And he reformed. He turned his life around. He became part of the Calligraphers Guild. It was probably, I would like to think that she had something to do with a sort of a work placement scheme. Those sort of like youngsters who've been like he's an orphan. He has no family.
Like, he's stealing books.
This kid needs to be.
This kid
so,
needs
like,
some education.
He may not know her involvement in that. But
he does credit Beryl with helping him get on.
Like fix his path, and then they ran into each other in episode 3 or 4. I think it was 3.
Yes,
and
it was the beginning of the first time I DM'd.
Yeah, they had an adventure together there, and he just sort of hung around because they bonded really well. They gelled really well. It was nice.
Yeah, they got on well. So they're doing adventures together for now.
This one-on-one content is really pretty damn amazing. Thanks, Serum.
Aw, we have fun.
All right, well, favorite Karen moments. And chat, if you had any favorite moments as well, please chuck them up.
Even if it was us shit-talking about.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the shit-talking. I quite enjoyed username you coming up, like, just busting down the door and saying, like, hey, I'm going to speak exclusively in German in chat, and you guys can either deal with it or not. And we're like, I'm going to lean in and translate a lot of this. Then when they realized that's what I was doing, they switched to Filipino. They also speak Spanish. I was like, fuck.
What the?
That was a really fun bit of chat for us. And then Mike Moans' raid, and meeting all of our new friends, and then we're getting up the puppet. Look, it was a fun stream. Enjoyable.
A lot happened. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm very distracted from my cold right now.
Falcon Wolf, was really good value. I'm really glad to meet a bunch of new people in chat. Really fun.
And Tony Cruz said we were funny, which is always nice.
Like that. Karen.
Favorite DM
my favorite
moment.
moment was the wine cellar.
That was going to be mine too.
Yeah.
Because I made chat roll for whether he was going to try and swindle you or not.
Yeah. And the way you played him was really... I can come up with another one if you like. Yeah, I was quite proud of the way I'd done with them. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I can still take it off your hands. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'll give it to my granny or something. He's like, oh, no.
Vintage, please come back.
All right, maybe I was trying to swindle.
I'll take it on the chin. It's hard to know sometimes if people don't know what they've got. No.
Yeah. No, I quite enjoyed that. I also think so. I'm aware, like, without wanting to highlight it, I'm aware that Karen is still new to the DM seat. This would be the first shopping episode you've run, and it's actually one of the harder things to do because you need a fair amount of broad knowledge about what would be available, how much things generally cost, and it's just memorizing a whole bunch of tables. So that would be. It's not the easiest thing to actually run, which is silly because it's the simplest RP stuff, but in terms of actually game knowledge, it's not easy. So I think you did a really good. You handled oh wow, they're actually going to sell stuff, and inevitably we RP it because that's just sort of what we do. But yeah, you dealt with that really well. And saying I was like, no, you can't have 1,500 gold pieces for that battered armor.
I don't have 1,500.
I don't think you should. Also, I don't think you should have that much money because that's a lot of money for a level 4, level 5 character who's running just 2 people, so it's not being split between a group. She never got the potions identified. Never mind. But
you got plenty of time.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. Well, we should go away from here now because we've been streaming for 3 hours, and we need to find someone to raid. And because it's still a little bit early, we can raid the Eldritch Scribe.
We can.
We've got 21 viewers, so this will bump them
username
up.
Dara is the one who speaks Russian on the Eldritch Scribe.
Yeah. The rest of them are Aussies except for Des, who is Irish.
No word on whether he speaks Gaelic?
Alrighty, so let's chuck them at that raid. Eldritch Scribe is playing D&D. This is their new campaign, Kingslayers. It's Ep9 of their new campaign. I watched the first 20 minutes or so of it. So here we go. We will start that raid up now. Guys, throw your favorite raid emotes up in chat. Tell them where you came from. Show them the love. And also don't forget to actually go from our channel to theirs so they get the views. Because that's the whole point of raids. And yeah, we hope to see you back here. We hope you've enjoyed yourselves with us this evening. Smash the follow button here and over there and all the other places. And whee! And we hope to see you soon, guys. Say goodbye, Karen.
Thanks for coming, guys. Have a lovely night. Or day, whichever one you're at.
Yeah.